But you know how, like, we can't put an Airbnb, you can't go in there and address and get it to come up. You get a location, you try to me, because I'm trying to find it. Because I'm trying to find the house and see what they're actually listing.
No, you can have a copy. I'll be right back. You can go ahead.
So then I have to check if that's a.
Which at that point they was like tiptoeing their way in.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the November 13th meeting of the Oklahoma City Planning Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and I'll start with a few housekeeping items. If you have a cell phone with you, please silence or turn it off. If you're here to speak on an item and you are not the applicant, there's a form available outside. Please fill that out and provide it to Elena or Jared down here below. When your item is that you're wishing to be heard on is called, you'll be asked to come to the podium. Please come up, give your name and address for the record, and you'll have up to 5 minutes to speak. If you're here to speak on an item with a large group of people, we encourage you to elect a representative to share your group's concerns, and in those instances, some additional time will be considered. Where several speakers are going to be heard on the same item, we just ask that you please do your best to limit your comments to those that we haven't heard. We're just trying to avoid repetitious comments and keep the meeting moving. Please direct all your comments and questions to the commission, and if necessary, we'll ask either the applicant or staff to respond. Finally, we just want to let everyone know we appreciate your presence here today and the obligations that you stepped away from. We just ask for your cooperation upholding the decorum of the meeting and ask that you don't speak from the audience. So thank you for your cooperation with that, and we'll begin. Item 2 is receipt of the minutes. I need a motion to receive the revised minutes from the October 9th meeting as well as our last meeting on October 23rd.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to receive the revised minutes from October 9th, 2025, as well as the October 23rd, 2025 meeting.
We have a motion to receive the minutes from Commissioner Noble. It's been seconded by Commissioner LaForge. Please cast your votes. And the minutes are received. Item 3 is continuance requests. We'll begin with uncontested requests.
Item 26 is PUD 2084, deferred to December 11th. Item 27, PUD 2108, deferred to December 11th. Item 28, SPUD 1613, SP01, deferred to December 11th. Item 29, case SPUD 1755, deferred to December 11th. Item 30, case SPUD 1785, deferred to December 11th. Item 31, case SPUD 1786, deferred to December 11th. Item 32, case SPUD 1787, deferred to December 11th. Item 33, case CPA 2025-9, deferred to January 15th. Item 34, case PUD 2105, deferred to January 15th. Item 35, case PC 10987 has been withdrawn, and item 36, PUD 2100 has also been withdrawn.
Okay, we'll just check to see if there's anyone here to be heard on any of those items. Okay, seeing none, we're just ready for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the uncontested continuance requests as read.
A motion to approve the new requests. Uncontested requests, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes. and those are granted. We do not have any new requests that I'm aware of. Do we have anything to add? No? Okay, so we'll move on to item 4, public hearings and the consent docket.
We have one item on the consent docket. That is item 1, which is case C-7770, final plat of Whispering Bend Phase 1, located north of West Hefner Road and west of North County Line Road.
I think we're just ready for a motion for the consent docket.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent docket.
I have a motion to approve the consent docket. It's been seconded by Commissioner Govine. Please cast your votes. And the consent docket is approved. We move on to cases to be heard individually, beginning with item 2.
This is case C-7761, final plat of Woody Creek at Westbury, located east of South Sarah Road and south of Southwest 15th Street, along with the variance to the subdivision regulations.
Okay. We have an applicant present. We'll give him just a second to make sure he's. We got to this item pretty quickly. Good afternoon.
Sorry, guys. Hi, Ron Walters, 3924 Mossy Creek. I think that's why I was in the hall. I think we're asking for deferral till December 11th, is that correct?
Okay. Yes, December 11th.
Okay. I'm good with that. I understand there's still some more work to be done. So with that, I'd like to recommend to have this item deferred to the December 11th agenda.
A motion from Commissioner Meek to defer the item to the December 11th meeting. It's been seconded by Commissioner LaForge. Please cast your votes. And that item is deferred. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to inconvenience.
Item 3.
This is case PC 10991, application to rezone 9350 Northwest 122nd Street from AA to R1.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Christian Hagan with Craft and Toll, 300 Point Parkway Boulevard, Yukon, Oklahoma. My client's seeking to rezone 3.1 acres. The blank area to the southeast is Nichols Creek Phases 4 and 5, which are currently being constructed. This corner doesn't have access to the rest of the development due to the creek, and the client has decided to split it off and attempt to rezone it to R1 so that he can sell it.
Will this be, this is my ward, will this be viewed as basically all one development? It's just being,
Correct. It'll be a single lot.
okay. And then is your development immediately to the east, or is it just the south?
We are to the east and south.
Okay. What is going to be your treatment along 122nd across the front as far as like perimeter fence, wall?
We don't have a specific plan for the frontage as of yet, but we're open to requirements.
I think I'd want to see, oh, okay, street zoning. Okay. Okay. All right, it's street zoning, so. Okay. Yeah, my only concern is what I was getting at is I just want to see kind of a consistent, you know, if it's two different developments, but it's intended to be one, that you have a consistent, you know, treatment across the frontage of 122nd.
I see. So he will keep this a single lot and won't plat it into into larger development, but I believe he would be open to keeping a consistent feel along the frontage if that's what's required.
Okay. All right. Well, it's my ward. I can't make a motion, but I'm in support of it.
Anyone sign up to speak?
No one signed up to speak.
Anything from any other commissioners? No. With that, I will make a motion to recommend approval of PC 10991.
A motion to recommend approval of PC 10991 from Commissioner Noble, seconded by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes. And is recommended for approval. Item 4.
This is case PUD 1532-SB03, application for a specific plan pursuant to the approval of PUD 1532, located at 3833 Northwest 166th Street.
Good afternoon, Mark Zitzow with Johnson & Associates, 1 East Sheridan Avenue. Before you is a continuation and really the final build-out of the north end of Alley North at Port 164. That's a continuation of a similar type of light industrial sort of development. Staff has reviewed it, found it in conformance with the PUD, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Noble, this is your ward. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Anything from any other commissioners? And as Mark said, staff did say the specific plan, or that the specific plan meets the PUD, so I have nothing else. I'll make a motion to approve PUD 1532 SP03.
We have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend or to approve the specific plan. It's been seconded by Commissioner Harrison. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
That item is approved. Item 6.
Item 6. Item 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item 5.
Item 5 is case PUD 1628-SB05, application for a specific plan pursuant to the approval of PUD 1628, located at 1104 South Mustang Road.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. Also with me is Mohammed Khan, who's the civil engineer for the project. As you can see, this is a specific plan for a Walmart neighborhood market. We zoned this some time ago. I think it was about a 200-acre overall development, and piece by piece it has started to develop, and this is the latest portion of that. So staff's reading of our application shows that it conforms to PUD. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Meek, this is your ward. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Okay. I'm going to trust staff's review of the specific plan that it meets and is consistent with PUD 1628. Any other commissioners have anything regarding this? If not, I will make a motion, move to approve PUD 1628 SP05.
We have a motion from Commissioner Meek to approve the specific plan. It's been seconded by Commissioner Newman. Please cast your votes. And that specific plan is approved. Now we're ready for item 6.
This is PUD 2026-SPO1, application for a specific plan pursuant to the approval of PUD 2026, located at 2124 Northwest 192nd Street.
Once again, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. Also with me is Mark Zitzow. You may recall this application, there was quite a bit of discussion, quite a bit of protest, negotiated pretty heavy here, and then again, once we got to City Council. It is a multi-family project at the corner of 192nd and Penn. We have now put forward our specific plan. At the time of filing, 3 of the buildings were slightly rotated when compared to the site plan in the PUD that was committed to. So Johnson Associates has rotated those 3 buildings, resubmitted it to staff. We have it here if you'd like to see it. So once those buildings were rotated, it is now in full compliance with the PUD. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Noble, this is Ward 8.
This is mine. Do you have paper document or just a poster?
For what?
Of the orientation changes?
So it was these 3 buildings, 7, T5, and T3. slightly rotated when compared to the PUD site plan that was approved, and so they have since been re-rotated,
Right.
resubmitted back to staff, and will be moving forward to building permit.
Right. I just wanted that into the record. That was the one thing that was changed.
I asked for a color exhibit, but this is just what Mark brought. So.
I don't have anyone signed up to speak, Commissioner Noble.
Anything from any other commissioners? Nope.
I wish it was in color, but
Yeah, me too.
And I will say that the specific plan does match the PUD. And with that, I'll make a motion to approve PUD 2026 SP01.
A motion from Commissioner Noble to approve the specific plan. It's been seconded by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
And the specific plan is approved. Item 7.
This is PUD 2102, application to rezone 8617 South Santa Fe Avenue from R1.
David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. This is an item that was deferred a few times to allow an opportunity to meet with Commissioner Newman as well as Councilman Hinkle. It's a duplex development of what we propose, which is identical to what was approved in terms of type of use to the west, which is PUD 2054. After meeting with Mr. Newman and Mr. Hinkle, I believe we now have a product that meets with their approval. We've modified it to the point where there are no TEs. Mr. Newman did want us to state, and perhaps even add as a TE, that any of the required parking in the PUD shall not be able to be utilized on-street parking. So any required parking shall be required to be on-site. I think that's what the code says. I defer to staff. If it's not what the code says, we can certainly add it as a TE.
Commissioner Newman, I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
okay. Could we get a clarification on that from staff, please?
Sure. Sarah Welch, Planning Department. So there is a provision in the code that you can do a one-for-one for parking, but it really has to be delineated. So I think that it's really fine either way. If you really want to make sure that the parking on the street doesn't count, then you would have to just make it a TE.
David, could we make that a TE? 'Cause
Yeah,
that was
so
made
I would suggest the TE just state that any required parking shall not be able to be counted for on-street parking. On-street parking shall not be counted towards required parking.
Okay, that works for me. There's no one signed up for it?
No.
Okay. Does any of the other commissioners have any comments? Okay. With that, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to recommend approval of PUD 2102 to City Council with TE1 as read into the record.
A motion to recommend the item to the City Council for approval, subject to the one technical evaluation. It's been seconded by Commissioner Govine. Please cast your votes. The item's recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Item 8.
This is PUD 2112, application to rezone 3925 Northwest 178th Street from PUD 1895.
Once again, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. This is a PUD that would allow a modification of the facade regulations that currently exist. Jared, could you show the aerial, please? So as currently drafted, the PUD that's in place allows for personal storage use, but it requires the entirety of that use to be clad with masonry product. Not the most common thing that you would see a personal storage use clad in masonry. There we go. So what this PUD would do is allow us to have metal except for the western facades, which are adjacent to the existing or currently being built single-family residential. There's no other residential that exists to the east or to the south. And so this would ensure that that orientation of those homes and the treatment they would see on our facade would be masonry, but the interior stuff and the eastern facing and southern facing, where there is no single-family residential development now or allowed, could be the metal product, more consistent with what you'd expect to see in a personal storage facility. There are no TEs. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Commissioner Noble, this is your ward again. No one signed up to speak.
No one has signed up to speak. Anything from any commissioners on this? It's just basically keeping the PUD exactly as it was, except the change of the masonry product. on the sides that are not facing R1, so.
It makes sense based on the layout exhibit that we have, because Exhibit B, the storage units are situated such that it forms a sort of a wall, a barrier that
Yeah.
if you do that west side brick, you're achieving exactly what you say. But if the layout were to be different than that, then does the west actually screen it? We wouldn't know until we saw the layout. So are we saying, is there a way to lock it into this Exhibit B site layout, is what I'm saying?
Let me see what the facade regs state.
Or word that,
Just the orientation of
How does
the
it work?
building, right?
Or we could just say any wall immediately adjacent to single-family residential shall be required to be masonry. Because what we say is exterior building wall finish on the western-facing side of structures adjacent to single-family residential use shall consist of masonry brick. I guess we could say exterior building wall finish on structures adjacent to single-family residential use, so that we're taking out any reference to direction.
that would be better, yeah, because there's a northwest, there's west, north, I just
We're
don't want
fine
it to
with
be
that.
a loophole.
The intent is anywhere we're adjacent to a
I-
residential structure, we're fine with it, so.
I agree with the intent.
Use. So what we were doing then, the TE would be to remove, under the facade regs 9.1, remove the words western facing. So it would read exterior building wall finish on, take out the word the western facing. So it just says existing building wall finish on structures adjacent to single-family residential use. So remove the words the western-facing side of under 9.1.
So
Wall finish on
while we're
structures
talking
adjacent
about, what's going to be screened, I mean, is our thought process here that because there's not any residential
On the east side,
development to the east
and
currently?
it's zoned
I-1.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was thinking that it would be residential
Yeah,
in the
sure.
future, but we don't think so.
No, it's zoned to allow light industrial.
Okay.
I like the proposed language you said by just striking the western-facing side of, that achieves it, because it just says exterior building wall finish on structures adjacent to single-family residential use shall consist of masonry, brick, veneer.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So that it's clear, the intent is the TE to remove the words the western-facing side of from section 9.1.
And just question for staff, is that okay as written?
Some of them are.
Sure, yeah, Sarah Welch, Planning Department. Often we'll say use, sometimes if the houses aren't there, we say zoning or use to be more clear, but so that the requirement would kick in if the zoning were there but the houses weren't built.
Oh, well, that would make sense, too. What is it? Do we need to strike another word?
Well, I mean, where we don't want to do masonry is east-facing, and I guess what would be southeast-facing. The wall that would be kind of north and south, directly west, and then the wall that would be facing northwest is where we're committed. I think that's what we're saying. We're not trying to trick anyone. I don't.
Well, one of the comments I had is if you look at the other exhibit, there's there at where it turns from north-south to then northeast, there is a separation in buildings, and there's a corner lot right there. So they're going to be seeing the side wall, the north wall of that southern unit. They're going to be looking right at it.
Who?
The adjacent neighbor, the lot on the west. Not there, go down to the left. Okay, but yeah, so that
That's a
building
common
there.
area.
But I'm talking about that storage building, go up to the north where it bends off to the, right there. So that's where two buildings come, according to the exhibit. It looks like you can see the ends of the building on both of those buildings there from the residential.
You're talking about here and here?
Yes.
Okay, we can,
And to
those
me-
ends of buildings, if in fact there are ends, can be masonry as well.
Well, I gathered from the previous one that, it's viewable from residential, so.
So it would,
Yeah, so what if we say we're adjacent to single-family residential platted lots? Which then those end caps would be adjacent to that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
good. So, give me the TE again. I mean, are we going to change 9.1 or are we going to add a TE?
Change 9.1, well, that is, so a TE would be to change 9.1 as previously stated, except now add, instead of the word use, it should say adjacent to single-family residential platted lots. So trade use for single-family residential platted lots. On top of the provision I already struck.
Staff has the wording.
I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but yeah.
This is why I didn't want to become a transactional attorney.
Anything else? Oh,
Nothing from me.
okay. With that, I'll make a motion to recommend approval of PUD 2112 with TE number 1, striking in 9.1 the western side of and adding adjacent to single-family residential platted lots.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend approval of the item subject to the technical evaluation as read. It's been seconded by Commissioner Govine. Please cast your votes. And that item is recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Item 9.
This is case PUD 2113, application to rezone 1800 Northwest 115th Street from PUD 1767.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street. Here on behalf of the applicant. Jared, do you have the aerial? Hopefully it's an updated aerial. So this is, well, it's not updated. This is a duplex development that was zoned several years ago. It is fully developed now with every structure being complete. And it's a rental community. My client that now owns it owns each of the units. And so from a kind of planning perspective and end of year property tax perspective, there are, I don't know the total number, call it 70 different lots. And so he's got 70 separate tax ID parcels when it's one owner. The only thing that we are attempting to do with this application and the next, which is the partial plat vacation, is to remove the individually platted lots, allow it to be a single tax parcel so that my client can have a simpler task managing one tax parcel. Nothing about the underlying development changes, nothing about what is on the ground will change. It is that simple. The way that our code works now, the only way to do that is to allow the multifamily use unit. So we're adding the multifamily use unit, limited to the duplexes that are there, and then vacating the lot lines in the next application. There are no TEs. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Commissioner Harrison, this is your ward. I do have someone signed up to speak.
Okay, let's go ahead here.
Okay. Angelin Carr. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm at 11421 Bel Air Place. I really didn't quite understand what Representative Attorney Box said from what I was looking at. There's a small space of grass that was left. Last year, we met with Attorney Box as well as the developer, and I specifically asked about these duplexes or a multi-story unit being placed directly behind our property, and was told no, there would be duplexes only. looking at the plans, I can't tell if this is a townhouse going in this small grass area that's 15, 20 feet. Can someone, can you tell me?
Yeah, nothing is being built. What's on the ground now with the duplexes are what will stay there. If there's any grass area, it's probably a common area. We won't be building anything pursuant to this. This is simply allowing what's there now as being a series of duplexes to be on one tax parcel.
So you're not doing anything to it?
No.
Oh, okay, then I don't have anything further to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other commissioners have anything?
We kind of,
Go ahead.
we kind of brought it up and talked about if we need a TE or if it's baked in where it keeps the common areas common and that it keeps an HOA and turns it into a POA.
So
like that?
Yeah, the PUD as drafted under 9.16 says, maintenance of the common areas, private drainage easements, private drives and islands, et cetera, shall be the responsibility of the property owner or property owners association. So that's under 9.16 in the PUD.
But like with her concern, if it all becomes one lot, then the common area is not platted anymore.
So that, it can't be done because what's there with common area is a drainage way.
Okay.
And as part of our approved permit to build, that is designated as drainage common area.
Okay. Seeing any other further discussion, I move approval.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Harrison to recommend approval of PUD 21-2113. It's been seconded by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
And that item is recommended for approval. Item 10.
Item 10 is case VP 11, application to vacate the final plat of Chisholm Point. This is located north of West Hefner Road and east of North Pennsylvania Avenue.
David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street. This is the companion item that would vacate the plat. There are two TEs, both of which we agree to.
Any further discussion? Including the two Ts that they accept, I move approval.
All right, we have a motion to approve the vacation for Commissioner Harris, subject to the technical evaluations. It's been seconded by Commissioner Govine. Please cast your votes. And that item is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is item 11.
Item 11 is PUD 2114, application to rezone 10201 Southeast 74th Street from R1, AE1, and AE2.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. This is a very unique parcel. It's got a large single-family home and then a large outbuilding that we desire to use as an event space. So what we're seeking to do through this PUD is to allow for the large barn to be used as an event space and able to be rented out for public use. We also seek to have, and we can have this discussion, we also seek to have the short-term rental use as a permitted use to avoid going to see Mr. Noble at the Board of Adjustment. Use unit under Chapter 59, as far as I can tell, there's no prohibition in doing it this way. So we would ask for that use unit to be included as a by right use. We do agree to TE number 2. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Privet, this is your ward. I have two folks signed up to speak.
Yep, okay. My only concerns, probably when I saw the size of the lot, would be the spectator sports entertainment general across the whole shebang. I know we've got some quiet hours, but really the biggest part's the spectator sports entertainment. When it could, possibly be right next to residential, being how large this lot is. David, what are the plans for that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The Spectator Sports Entertainment General.
My understanding is that's what we need for the ability to have it as an event center.
Okay, can we restrict that somehow to keep from having some big sports complex put in that giant lot?
I mean, we could restrict it to sites currently developed. So if they wanted to expand, past what's on the ground now, they'd have to seek to rezone it.
Okay, I think I'm probably okay with that. Let's hear what people have to say.
Okay. We'll start with Elizabeth Pearl. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Elizabeth Pearl. I now live at 9919 Southeast 74th Street. And my biggest concern is just the increased volume of traffic in the area. Because eventually Tinker is going to be shutting Douglas down between Southeast 44th and 74th. So that's going to divert all the traffic down Post and Southeast 74th Street.
There you go.
And that's my biggest concern.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Mrs. Perry. Welcome.
I don't know if you can hear me. I live at 10100, so I'm right across the street, that direction on this. Here. So I'm one of those houses that's directly across the street from this monstrosity. When we moved in 2016, they said they were building a house over there. And we watched them build and build and build. And there's a house and there's all kinds of crap there you can see. So we were concerned enough about it. And then our property taxes, keep skyrocketing every year because of this whatever $2 million, it was supposed to be originally a $2 million house, and the whole project ended up costing something like $4 million. So now the family that was doing this has evidently decided to vacate the premises. So now the rest of us have to worry about, traffic. The other lady was talking about traffic concerns. And right now, if you've ever been down in that area, everything is torn up. So the traffic's bad already. And I'm sure that by the time they would get done with their changes, that probably in itself wouldn't be a problem. But 74th is a 2-lane road with pretty steep shoulders in some areas. And there's no street parking going to be available. So if they don't have ample parking somewhere there for whatever this venue is, there's going to be problems. And I am concerned about the taxes going up again because now we have a commercial enterprise right across the street from us. I was kind of concerned about his other use being one of the things that they could use it for. I don't like the whole idea of other because it's awfully wide open. So I guess I would have fewer questions if I had a little more information about what they really want to do. If there's weddings, there's an awful lot of traffic. There was a wedding venue right up north on Post Road, right against the I-40 on the west side, I believe, of Post Road. And they've folded, essentially. I don't think they even do anything there anymore because they had so little business. And so I don't know why we need another event venue that close. It doesn't seem to me like a good use of anything. So those are my concerns.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Mr. Box, we heard concerns about traffic and just needing more specifics on intended uses.
I mean, so the intended use is an event center, whether that's a charity event, a wedding, corporate retreat, things like that. We think it's ideally suited for weddings because you have the ability through the home that's on site to have the wedding party there, the day of, the night of. So we think the way that it's constructed is frankly ideal for these types of events. We were unaware that there was protest. To my knowledge, there was no formal letters that were submitted, so apologize. We haven't had an opportunity to visit with these folks, but we think that the way that the structures are currently constructed on site, that it would allow for these uses to be there in a manner that is, I think, not harmful to folks that are around it. There have been a handful of other events there in the past, and to my knowledge, there has been no complaints when those events occurred. I think there was perhaps like a Folds of Honor event that took place there at some point in the past. They contracted with the local church. They were able to valet cars as necessary and park a good amount of cars on site in and around the barn and up and down the lengthy driveways.
And of course, city ordinance prevents any parking on 74th Street.
Right, and you've
Correct.
got, what, 56 spaces plus driveway? So-
Something like that. It's perhaps more. What we didn't want to do is stripe out that whole area around the barn, but I think it's somewhere probably north of 56. Plus, anytime there's an event, they will valet it, knowing you obviously cannot park cars on 74th.
And was to keep you from expanding that to make it even bigger to,
So we could put language that the,
kind of like the Sports Spectator general thing too. I'd like to, keep as is and if something else changes.
limited to facilities constructed as of the date of city council approval.
Why, are you building something?
We can do it today. I mean, do it as of today, but today feels like a random date in a PUD that has a different approval date, but that's fine.
All right, I'd rather do PUD approval date, but. I'm kind of concerned about the quiet hours. I mean, it's midnight to 7 a.m. Yeah, a little late. It's a little late and then, quite frankly, a little early, I think. I mean, I guess you could have a daylight wedding, but, I mean, that's midnight on Wednesday.
What if we did Monday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday, or maybe it's Sunday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday, midnight to 8?
Better.
How about what time?
About 10:30.
Oh, we couldn't do 10:30.
That'd be better.
No wedding worth going to is done at 10:30.
Monday or Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 8, or 11 to 10:30. And then Friday, Saturday, 12 to 10:30.
You're saying 10:30 in the morning? No. Goodness gracious, who sleeps that late?
Oh, you mean at night? Okay.
Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday and Saturday, midnight to 8.
Got it. Okay.
Do we want to talk about the Airbnb issue?
Yeah, we want to talk about that.
Yeah, probably
the
going to talk
use.
about that too.
Mr. Noble wants us to just see it again. He can't get enough
Not because I want
short-term rental
I
discussion.
just,
'Cause he
I
knows.
think a use by right for eternity is probably too big of an ask. I know it is a use unit, and I was very surprised to see it as a use unit, but I have experience in the short-term lease,
You may be the foremost expert.
and so.
That's fine, we can agree
This is my
about
thoughts.
TVs. Although my understanding is Mr. Zitzel did slip one into a PUD at some point, and Sarah's very happy about it. So we'll agree to both TEs, and then add the modification to the quiet hours, and add the modification of the limitation of the use unit to the site as developed as of the approval date of the PUD.
All right, sounds like we're ready for a motion.
Okay, yeah. I'll make the motion to approve PUD 2114 with the, talked about with the specified TEs in the staff report. Number 2, except number 1, where we're going to modify that.
No, we agree to both of them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right,
And then
that's what it
add a TE3 that modifies quiet hours Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday and Saturday, midnight to 8. TE4, a limitation on the spectator sports and entertainment general use unit to be limited to the site as developed on the date of the approved PUD.
Right, okay, I agree.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Privet, subject to technical evaluations, recommend approval. It's been seconded by Commissioner LaForge. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that moves forward to City Council with recommendation of approval. Item 12.
Item 12 is case PUD 2115, application to rezone 13200 North Midwest Boulevard from RA.
Yes.
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 Good afternoon, Mark Zitzow, Johnson & Associates, 1 East Sheridan Avenue. Before you is a PUD of a project that you reviewed and approved as a preliminary and final plat a little over a year ago, known as Coventry Park. The project has been fully built out with all of its infrastructure, and the plat has been recorded. Our property owner acquired it, zoned RA, and when we came through, Mr. Work, who's here and will likely address you, the neighbors had concerns, and through that platting process, we agreed to a series of notes and commitments that were made and put on the face of the plat. Through the sale of lots, and Grant Van Hoos is here, and he's happy to answer any specific questions about it, but some of the homes that are proposed are a little wider than can be accommodated on a number of the lots. And so what we've requested in this PUD is to allow for the side yard setbacks to go to 20 feet from what the code would require of 25. We received a number of protest letters. In working with Mr. Kelly Work, we have revised the PUD to then reiterate all of the commitments that we had made at the plat stage and baked those into the PUD. So it's my understanding that all of those prior commitments have either been constructed and adhered to, but now also memorialized in the PUD. We would ask for your approval. Staff has recommended approval and has no TEs.
All right. This is Ward 7. I do have a couple folks signed up to speak. So ready to hear from Mr. Work.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Kelly Work, and I am here representing, first of all, my address is 105 North Hudson, Suite 304. I'm here representing the Rock Springs Property Owners Association, which is comprised of the residents in the area that is adjacent to the south of the subject property. And as Mr. Zitzow stated, there had been commitments made when the Coventry Park plat came through the process, and those actually even went back further when this property was rezoned to RA, which it is currently, which was back in 2020. So then I think the plat came through in 2023. So we just were needing to make sure, I think you all received a number of letters of protest from the residents within the Rock Springs neighborhood to the south. We just needed to make sure that this PUD reflected the terms of the agreement that had been made both when the RA zoning was approved and when the final plat was approved. So with the revisions that are reflected in the master design statement that was submitted last Thursday on November 6th, we're satisfied. So those changes, we believe, do reflect the agreement that was made, and with those changes, we're happy with the result. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Work?
I just have a question then, just for staff. Is the master design statement that we have today what was submitted?
Yes, the one that's in your packet is the most recent MDS.
Okay. All right, we'll hear from Mr. Steve Mitchell. You're good? Okay, awesome. Does everyone have signed up to speak?
Is there any additional questions from commissioners? Commissioner Noble.
Yeah, I'll just say,
handled this back.
just say this, that the 5 foot, taking 5 foot off of the setback and keeping it consistent throughout the neighborhood is, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, all this is really doing is allowing for a little bit bigger house to be built on the lot size is not changing. It's just how much of the lot they can use. So instead of 50 foot between houses, you now have 40 foot between houses.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
All right. I move for approval. If,
All right, we have a motion to recommend approval to City Council from Commissioner Harrison. That's been seconded by Commissioner Noble. Please cast your votes. And that is recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 13.
This is PUD 2116, application to rezone 7900 North Oklahoma Avenue from PUD 1965.
Mark Zitzow, 1 Sheridan Avenue. This is also a PUD that you've seen in the past. This is an area south of the development known as the Half. We are rezoning this to add in a use unit, which is the outdoor recreation, participant recreation use. This is what ultimately allows uses like Chicken and Pickle and Mammoth that had been previously approved. It's those restaurants that have like outdoor entertainment activities, mini golf, wiffle ball, pickleball, all of those things. So we are asking to add that use unit. In addition, through conversations with staff and for transparency, we have removed the specific plan requirement. Jared, if you can go to the aerial. The plat has been recorded, the streets are in, you've approved Mammoth, you've approved a prior office building, and a lot of the remaining development are the out parcels. And so in conversations with staff, you've seen the theme, the architectural theme of the development, as well as the road and lot layout. So with that, we'd ask for your recommendation of approval today.
Commissioner Harrison, this is Ward 7. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Any conversation from Commissioner?
Well, as we start to see some different uses becoming more popular, I just wanted to ask staff that in preparation of the new code, is there anything being considered, including that might, fit more along the lines of some of this, outdoor recreation where that's the primary use, but then you've also got kind of a secondary bar or restaurant?
So yes, we have a draft set of new use standards, new descriptions, new conditions and standards. So I'll check and see what it says about this particular use. But yes, and any future ones that you, over the next couple months that the Planning Commission wants us to scrutinize, please let us know.
Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you. Seeing nothing else, I move approval for PUD 2116.
So with respect to the ones I'd like to see staff scrutinize, I would say all of them. These are going to be so specific as to the uses. And, it's so hard to anticipate what they might look like, especially if we're trying to be flexible enough for it to grow a bit. But it's definitely a trend. We know it's there. And it can't become sort of a blank check for any kind of outdoor use located much closer to residential than this is. And I'm not concerned about this particular one, but I'm very uneasy about the sort of open-endedness of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we see outdoor recreation courts, mini golf, things like that. And we also have outdoor music venues, and I would like to see those separated so that you can have the courts and the recreation, and then the outdoor performance or music is a separate one.
So I live, 9 blocks south of McGinnis High School, and on Sunday night or Saturday night, as I was going out, just the wind, I guess, very unusually. As I was going out to my car, I could hear them announcing the game, whatever it was that was going on there. And it surprised me. But I think music, yes, definitely, but almost any kind of use that requires amplified sound, is going to be problematic for people who live in the proximity. So I think as they're coming through, we just need to keep an eye on them, each one. So.
It's a good point about wind, because that affects sound, and any case that comes through here where noise is a concern, regardless of the recreation or music.
And,
sound, it's not always just the pure studies. The
Absolutely.
acoustic studies are not based on the wind factor.
And it's not annoying, once every, couple of months to hear something like that for a few minutes, but you wouldn't want it to be a constant thing. So, yeah, I think.
I can hear Tinker almost a mile away.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Bugles.
Okay. I think we're ready for the motion. Or a motion was made by Commissioner Harrison to recommend approval, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Noble. Please cast your votes. Are we waiting on our system? It passed? Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I guess we need to see it, or we can take a voice vote. Let's just do a quick voice vote.
Did I? Aye. I don't even think I voted. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, this is unanimous. Item 14.
Item 14 is case PUD 2117, application to rezone 10500 West Hefner Road from AA.
Good afternoon, Dean Colitas, Civil and Environmental Consultants representing the owner, 4700 Gaillardia Parkway. And on this PUD application, we're looking to rezone to a single-family use. There'll be a mix of 6,000 square foot and also half-acre lots on this. It does meet the comp plan, and we do agree to all the TEs. And in the surrounding area, with a proximity to 2 miles to the elementary school, a mile from the highway, and there's existing residential being constructed on the west side, and then there's fully developed single family to the southeast, and then there's an approved preliminary plat directly to the south of us that we'd be connecting to. So with this growth in here, within the Yukon area, it does fit the comp plan. We recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. I do have a couple people signed up to speak, so we'll get to them here in a moment. Are you in agreement with the technical evaluations?
Say that one more time.
Are you in agreement with the technical evaluations?
Yes, we agree with the
Okay.
technical evaluation. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, let's hear from Tony Pratt Reed. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Tony Pratt Reed, and I just live, which would be right on the west side of this proposed area. And I want to oppose this because I feel that if anyone has driven out there on Hefner Road, it is significantly in deterioration. It is an agricultural area out there. It is one lane each way with a fair amount of dips in it, and putting another 250 homes out there, 500 cars a day into that area would be a significant traffic issue, as well as the fact that the side roads on this going north and south are in significant need of repair as well. When we look at this, the way it is designed right now, there's one entrance in and one entrance out. And when you look at that for emergency issues as far as EMSA or fire safety, that's a significant problem as well. So I really want to think about that, as well as with that school that is significantly overgrown in the area right now. I'm not sure that it can handle it. We've had a lot of growth in that area, and it's certainly something that we want to see grow. But around that are 1 and 2 acre plots, as well as the ones that are on the west, which are 5 to 20 acre plots. And so I think that congesting this area that we haven't built up with water or sewer or any of the other utilities, that we have to really consider that to be a concern and a hazard to the area that we're out there in. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Linda Starry.
I'm Linda Starry. My comments you don't need because Tony was our spokesman.
Okay.
I will speak to number 15.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, Mr. Kalita, we heard from Ms. Pratt-Reed about road conditions, emergency access.
Yeah, so if
schools.
you can pull up the site plan, there's an existing, which north is left on the venue here. So there's an existing, on the east side, which is the bottom of the page, there's an existing subdivision being constructed that we are connecting to. So we will have connectivity to Sarah Road as well as Hefner. And then in the future, we will have a connection likely to the south there as well when that planned unit development and that preliminary plat is being constructed. So we'll have connectivity all the way to Britton Road as well in the future. So there would be 3 actual connection points to arterial streets. The street conditions, I think that's likely part of the future plan in there. I know that planning commissioner or the city council member has that on his radar for future bond issues, but I don't know if anything is there right now. But we do have emergency services access for this, and the growth out there is, I think it's part of the comp plan. I think it's going to continue to go in the future there.
Yeah, it's a popular area, and I know Ms. Pratt-Reed and Ms. Starry, I'm sure they don't watch Planning Commission every meeting, but it's something that we hear is the roads can't take the development, and unfortunately the mechanism that we have in Oklahoma City doesn't allow us to go in and improve all the roads before the development can go in. It's opposite of that. The rooftops bring the impact fees and the tax base that get, and more of a constituent demand to get the roads improved. So it's not ideal, but it's what we have to work with right now as far as the order of things. And we see it almost every planning commission, so.
It is definitely a timing issue, and it is always good to remember that, this kind of approval, this kind of approval on a zoning case is really at the very front end of this. She's absolutely right, the roads out there are a mess. And, I can well understand someone would be concerned that this area would not be able to handle this kind of development. But the development will be slow. It'll come over time.
Yeah, I was going to ask that if you had any idea or could give any indication of what we see on the screen, the number of lots, over what time frame you would expect that to occur.
And this will be phased. The west side will be the first phased development of it. So, going towards the east side will be in the future. So the west will be the first. You can see where the roundabout is. That's where the clubhouse is going to go, and that'll be done in the first phase. So by the time it gets to the east to impact them, it'll be, I would say, part of demand and absorption in the area. This is at least a 2 or 3 year for the first phase, and probably another 2 for the second phase. So you're talking 4 to 5 years when it's fully built out, based on absorption, of course, and market conditions.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
I wanted to first ask on the facade regulations, if you would be willing to pull out the fiber cement siding and the wood from the 70% and move that to the 30%?
This client they use these timber style homes, and kind of the more of a rustic type look, and a lot of their product and their facade is that hardy board. So I'm not sure they'll be able to remove that from there, because that's kind of their look that they go for, a little bit more of a modern chic type look. So it'd be hard for us to remove that portion because it's just so part of their kind of their style home. It's most definitely not a traditional. It's more of a modern, pseudo-modern type home.
Okay, and then another question on the screening and the fencing that's going around this property. What's the plan there?
You know, to meet city code on the screening side of things.
I'd like to see it changed to a cedar fence, capped. And that's mainly for me, it's just because there's so many large parcels surrounding it that I think it's be favorable to those people to have a fence that stood up to time rather than just the typical.
Sure, a little bit more. That could be a composite or a plastic type product for more longevity. Is that what you're looking for there?
Yeah, or cedar. So.
Yeah, you know, we can write something in regards to this type of fencing required, either cedar or some type of, you know, because they do have the cement fencing or the kind of the composite type of fencing that lasts longer. We can add some language in there if you'd like to propose.
Yeah, I like that too, and I appreciate you bringing that up. One of the questions I had, because we obviously know the impact fee system's not working out in this area, and this road this is a lot of lots going R1 like this, and I can't tell on this site plan, as small as it is, do we have any kind of in deceleration lanes that we could pull back in so that it wouldn't just be a hard stop there all the time?
Part of the subdivision ordinance requires that, and we would be dedicating an additional 17 feet of right-of-way, and then also have the XL decel lanes. Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because I
Yes, sir.
couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
we'll meet the subdivision regulations.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay. I think we're ready for a motion.
I will make that motion. I want to make sure to add a TE for the fence, to call out it to be a cedar, 6-foot tall cedar cap fence or masonry.
That should be fine.
Clarification, 6 up to 8? Or?
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Okay.
To be cedar or similar product for longevity or something like that.
Yeah.
Similar
You want to
product to
include
cedar.
composite? So cedar or composite or masonry?
Yeah.
I like you saying cedar or composite wood or masonry.
Okay.
Meaning the composite wood has a wood look.
Has a look. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can agree to that, TE.
Anything else? No? With that, I will make a motion to recommend approval of PUD 2117 with the 2 TEs as stated in the staff report, and TE number 3 to the site, add to the site proof screening that fence type will be capped cedar, 6 to 8 foot tall, composite wood or masonry.
And just for clarity, where would that be?
Yeah, the surrounding.
Into the entire property boundary? Okay. All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend the item to City Council. And that's been seconded by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes. And that item is recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Item 15.
Item 15 is KC 7771, preliminary plat of Triple S Ranch. And this is located south of West Hefner Road and east of North Sarah Road.
Dean Kalidas, Civil and Environmental Consultants, 4700 Gaillardia Parkway, representing the applicant. This is obviously a companion to the PUD. The preliminary plat is shown, 6,000 square foot minimum lots, as well as there's some half-acre lots in there as well. And we have connectivity. You can see the subdivision there on the left, PUD's 1972 that we're connecting to. So we'll have connectivity to Hefner, Sarah, and the PUD 1920 to the south. That's where we'll have connectivity to that goes all the way down to Wilshire. And we accept all the TEs.
Okay. And Ms. Starry signed up again. Would you like to speak?
Okay, my name is Linda Starry. My address is 10401 West Hefner Road. I'm directly across the street from the entrance to the proposed plat. And as y'all already know, the plan calls for building 255 single-family homes with 5 common areas with only 1 entrance in and out of that subdivision. We're talking about 69, a little over 69 acres. So these are very, very like postage stamp lots. My biggest concern is the traffic. For example, if each homeowner has 2 cars, that's 510 cars, people, leaving for work and school every morning and then returning in the afternoon and the evening. Not to mention delivery services like Amazon, UPS, the U.S. Postal Service, lawn care specialists pulling trailers, school buses, and the list just goes on. There's currently a new subdivision being built south of Hefner on Sarah Road, and it's my understanding that it's 87 homes on 15 acres, and that's in the process right now because they're doing roads and utilities. We drove by the other day. Traffic is already very heavy on Hefner Road from the Surrey Hills area. So in the mornings, you have to pick and choose because you're going to have a backup as much as a half mile to maybe 3/4 of a mile trying to get over to Northwest Expressway or turning to get on the Kilpatrick. So most of the traffic from these 2 subdivisions plus Surrey Hills will be heading, and they'll all be heading to the Kilpatrick, either by way of Hefner or around going through with Sarah. And then I also want to call your attention to the fact that Hefner Road is also a designated bike lane road, which allows them to utilize the full road. We see that as a problem in the summertime now already, backing up cars, because they literally have the right to go down the whole lane, side by side, 2 bicycles, which on either side of the entrance into this subdivision are some hills, which is going to skew the visibility. And our property where we live is kind of unique as we are the only home directly across the street from this proposed PUD. So my concern is the traffic noise factor and lights at night. Our home has 2 front bedrooms facing Hefner Road. So I would like to suggest that the plan be amended for them to put a barrier on our side of the road in front of our home to buffer the noise and to eliminate the car lights shining in our bedroom windows at night. And then number 3, safety issues. Our mailbox is currently, we're really considered rural, is right there on Hefner Road. We literally have to, at the end of our drive, walk onto Hefner Road to get into our mailbox. We could access the mailbox through our bar ditch, but that's not very feasible. Right now, we have to pick the time of day that we actually go out and get our mail just so we don't get hit by a car or a truck because the speed limit is 40, but they do not do 40. And I've checked several times with the Postal Service, as this has been a problem for quite some time, plus people hitting our mailbox, to see if they could allow us to move the mailbox slightly onto our driveway, which we have a drive into, and you can see on the plat, we have a driveway into our home that's several feet. It'll accommodate at least 2 vehicles in a row. Their guidelines do not allow for their delivery drivers to back out onto a road. The Postal Service suggested that we pick up our mail at the post office, which that's like 10 miles to get to Yukon proper where the post office is. So those options are just not acceptable. So I would like to add and suggest that your proposal extend the width of our driveway. Like I said, we are a unique property to this PUD, where it would be like a half circle where the mail person could come off of Hefner Road and do this little half circle, deliver our mail, and still be going forward and get back onto Hefner Road. That possibly could make us a little safer in just trying to get in and out of our property, because it's directly across the street. Our driveway is going to be right there for this one-way in and out of this subdivision. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get in and out of our driveway. So those are my concerns, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Starr. I can appreciate the situation that you're in, and I think, one thing I want to say is we can't ask an applicant to do improvements off of their property. This is over across the road. It's not on their property. I'm sure Mr. Cluta would certainly visit with you, and there's a possibility that maybe you can work something out with the developer privately, but that would be beyond the purview of this commission. What else did I hear? Oh, I wanted to also mention that we did look it up while you guys were speaking, and Hefner Road is scheduled to get an overlay improvements here in the near future, and I know Councilman Carter has been working on that to get that into the bond. So I believe that is a confirmed improvement. So yeah. So. Okay, anything else from commissioners or?
With respect to the plat itself, I have some concerns about the fact that all the common area seems to be on the north side of the property. If there doesn't seem to be any recreational space or common area provided on the south portion of the property, it would be quite a long walk, I think, to get from, the southern edge up to where there would be recreational uses?
Yeah, one of the TEs was added that stated that we needed to have common area within 1,320 feet of every lot. So to meet that, we have agreed to add a common area lot on the south in the middle that would cover that. There's some drainage going through there. There's going to have to be a drainage easement, but usable open space is what we agreed to. So there will be some common area on the south as well. And then on the north east corner there's common area. There's going to be a pond, and then the main clubhouse is common area C and D as well. And then common area B is the detention pond. So there's a centralized community type center area, and then we'll have some pocket areas, and it'll be basically a pocket park on these other common areas that he's got. But yes, on the south side there will be a common area that we agreed to.
And you'll be able to show us that with the final plan?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Were all of the properties served by private sewer? I mean, public sewer, sorry.
All the lots that are the 6,000 square feet will be by public sewer. The lots on the north side that are half acre, they will be on septic, but they'll have city water. So the vast majority will be public water and sewer.
I meant to bring that up in the PUD because it was written in the last one. It was taken out of this one.
What was the comment?
It was written in the last PUD, I believe, that the lots that were not 6,000 square feet were private sewer. In this one today, I didn't see it, so that's why I was bringing that up.
Yeah, I mean, we received all the comments from city staff and basically agreed to all their comments. So it may have been taken out during then, but the sewer cannot serve those northern lots, so those are the ones that are on septic. And it's basically maybe 14 lots total that would be on the septic, but they're half acre, so a little bit more buffered to the north, so a little bit larger lots. But they are on water.
Well, a half-acre lot for aerobic or septic for me personally is not large enough. So
These lots, the way they're configured, they're actually over the half acre, if that matters.
no, it matters. So
Are they 3/4 acre?
I believe they're a little over half, but, you know, the way that configuration is, you know, the internal lot lines, you know, can be adjusted as needed to accommodate something, if that makes sense. It's just DEQ requirements, if there's public water, will be, you know, half acre minimum to meet the septic requirements. But due to I mean, it's, you know, 15 lots, looks like, it appears that, and also common area A, just as full disclosure, that is an existing water pond that will likely have to become bigger to meet the detention, so we may end up losing a lot as well. So 14 to 15 lots on septic it would be the maximum there on that north side.
I'd like to put a minimum lot size.
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty strong precedent established of 1 acre plus on septic, so with certain exceptions that have mitigated that to go less, and maybe, you know, there's a limited number we're talking about here, but I think it's right to address it in a TE. And
When you say that the lots to the north cannot be served by sewer, what's the issue?
So
Elevation, yes, there's just
elevation,
not the
yeah.
elevation to get there.
Yeah, we're tying into, so the PUD 1972, there's a sewer line, existing public sewer that they're constructing now. Well, it's being constructed now. So we're tying to that sewer line, and due to the elevation and the topography of the land, you can only serve so many lots until you basically run out of cover on your sewer line. So we decided just to, you know, make it more of a rural half acre minimum to the north, per the current layout.
So what is the,
Well, it's served with public water, so it can be less than if it wasn't served with public water, but again, I just, I mean, I'd love an acre.
is it 3/4 acre min or at 1 acre min? I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
3/4 DEQ, right?
Yeah, and that's a minimum that we've been,
Yeah.
you know, educated. It's not really
I don't like it.
sufficient when you have a concentration of them. Maybe if it was a one-off in rural areas, but.
Agreed.
So at what point do we say we have too high of a concentration? You know, this is,
Right.
is it 15?
I'm after about, 10 lots or so is when I start getting
Well,
concerned, so.
We've had this conversation just
Yeah.
2 or 4 weeks ago
Right.
of
And this is mostly, all the stuff on the east is draining to a pond.
Are you basically recommending 3/4 acres? That kind of what you're shooting for?
That's what we're discussing.
I'm recommending 1 acre, but I think there's some other factors that maybe 3/4 is okay in this case with the city water, but it's a discussion.
Yeah, because of city water, I don't mind the 3/4 acre.
Yeah.
My bigger question is, did we just approve the PUD that didn't have anything about aerobic in it?
Well, it can't, I mean. there's
And
nothing-
yes,
Or
we did.
septic.
You're right, but now that we're at the plat, so if we make the change to the plat, we make the change to the sizes of those lots, they're platted 3/4, we're fine.
But I just, in the PUD, it said that
In the PUD, it says that everything will be served by
everything will
public
be
sewer.
served by public sewer.
That's what I saw those words,
Yes.
and I thought, okay, it's public
Yes.
sewer. I didn't realize there
And
was a
so the
portion
minute
that
we
was.
got that answer, the PUD's no good now. If he's gonna have to come back if we allow aerobic, period. No matter what the lot size is, the PUD's no good now.
Is there something we're missing there?
Well,
It says it's
that
over
language
public.
must have, I mean, staff had some changes. I didn't realize that they'd stripped anything about that. I believe we did have it in this wastewater section. I believe there is statements about
And the
the septic.
existing H1 is within the
Commissioner
required
Meek,
district.
Commissioner Noble, we do have the opportunity to reconsider the previous item.
Okay, that's,
By motion.
Let's do that.
Okay,
So
thanks, that would help.
we would need a motion to reconsider it.
Can I do it right now in the middle of this?
Right. All right, so we can table this, motion to table this item and reconsider previous item.
Okay. I will have, put forth a motion to table PUD 2117. Right?
No, table the plat, the preliminary
Plat
plat.
C7771. And then a motion to reconsider SPUD, or PUD 2117.
All right, so we have a motion to reconsider PUD 2117.
We need our motion to table first.
No, we don't, the table is not.
It's just tabled.
It's just tabled.
We only need the motion to reconsider. So motion to reconsider PUD 2117. I need a second. I think we've thrown a curve at our system. So I'll just need
I'll do a second.
a verbal second from Commissioner Meek. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay. All right, so now we'll reconsider PUD 2117.
Specifically, the comment that the developer will be required to extend the city wastewater collection system to and across each lot or within the subdivision in accordance with standards. Obviously, that's not good anymore.
Because it's not each lot, well, if by that wording, or I mean, that wording is each lot, but that's not what this represents.
Right.
Could we just add a TE stating that for lots larger than 6,000 square feet that have a minimum.
Or not served by public sewer.
That are not served by public sewer would have a minimum of 3/4 an acre in size.
We can agree.
I haven't yet.
Sarah, help us.
While she's doing that, I haven't heard the compelling reason for less than an acre yet, especially when you point out it drains to a pond. An acre seemed appropriate to me unless there's extenuating reason.
The one caveat is that it had public water, so that DEQ does allow a smaller lot if it has public water, and that, I think that was the comment. But, I mean, I was a 1 acre guy.
I think with the rate of
The
roads
only reason
configured.
I'm anywhere close to an acre is because of the water availability. Without that, I wouldn't even consider it all, but.
Even we'd want to be larger than an acre if it could be, but.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and wouldn't we normally be starting at 2.5 acres and getting ourselves down to an acre and suddenly we started bargaining at 3/4 of an acre?
Right.
Well, that, I agree. Thank you for.
I could go for 2.5 acres,
And the only,
or maybe an acre.
if we keep with what, the direction we've been going, the only time we considered 3/4 of an acre is when we put the spray field easement in the back, if you remember.
For future, if there ever was for future
Yeah, and with the
sewer.
depth of these lots, there's going to be plenty of area to do aerobic if need be, so we can put something there in regards to aerobic systems if we need to. And, DEQ is, you can have 3/4 acres if you have water, or if you basically don't have public water, so we have water, so we're, 3/4 acre, we can definitely meet that and put in there some aerobic.
Right, but you understand our concern, because after it's put in, nobody controls that I'm gonna build a pool, or I'm gonna build a ADU,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, you don't have any room left. That's wwhy, if we do go that small, we like to put an easement where nothing can be built there.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the 3/4 acre, that would cover the additional, 1/4 acre for if additional improvements were made.
Well, and HOA maintenance of the septic system is also a topic that we've been discussing. And in this particular development, with a mix of city sewer and septic, it seems like that's a stronger case even to have HOA required maintenance of the septic systems, if we're even particularly considering a smaller lot size. Because that's the part of the concerns is people just don't maintain them, and then you get the affluence and issues. So
I don't know.
I'm okay with max with this number of 15, and if we were to require an easement and HOA maintenance I think I can get my head around 3/4, even though I think 1 acre would be better. But We haven't asked yet with the applicant, would you agree to 1 acre lots minimum for the 15? or-
Due to the shape and, the depth of those lots, we could most definitely agree with 3, acre, I think, would just cut those lots in half, basically, so. But with the shape and how deep they are, the septic concerns, I think, would be met. So obviously, their improvements are going to likely be on the front of the lot. With it being 3/4 acres, DEQ minimum's a half, it gives you that that 3/4 acres of if they built additional pools, and like you were talking about, it'd still cover that septic field that they would need if it's traditional aerobic. And we can put in stipulation for aerobic systems only, that's totally fine. And these are going to be likely custom homes there, so each owner will have their own. If there's a stipulation for HOA to maintain that, that's great for the homeowner. And then with the HOA, there's many homes, it's not much of a cost. So if that'll get us over the hump, I think we can deal with that, yeah, if need be.
I don't know, it seems like requiring the HOA to maintain the few people's septic systems that have septic systems is a recipe for
Big lots up north.
conflict in the HOA to me.
You mean all the other people don't want to offset the cost of their dues of a few septics?
I wouldn't be happy about it if it were me. But I also think that we need to hold the line on the size of the lots, half acre. My faith in DEQ's ability to regulate this issue is non-existent, so.
Yep. Well, then, if
It's 33,000 square feet to 44,000 square feet, basically, is the difference.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, if the HOA, maintenance of septic is not desirable in this case, then 1 acre lots would be more desirable, and that would deal with that concern.
Absolutely.
Or, I hate we're down here in this HOA thing, but I think if we just require the HOA to do it, within the HOA's own documents, they can specify that those lots incur the cost of it. While it would be the responsibility for the whole HOA, they can, within their own documents, separate it out.
Yeah.
They say the cost of maintaining the septic will just be on those lots, I think.
Yeah, that could
So
be
if we
done.
say stick it on the HOA, they can figure it out, or don't stick it on the HOA and have bigger lots.
Yeah, that could be done with CCRs or deed restrictions on the lots,
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff.
And we could add a note to the plat too, that certain lots are required, this many minimum with septic and the HOA. Just like we have common areas, the HOA is required to maintain all common areas, then we could add a note to the plat. I know this is the PUD at this one, but for the plat, we could add it there as well. I think that'd be reasonable.
Sarah, did you want to add something while I whip up how many?
No, Sarah
ones
Welch,
to have?
Planning Department. I was just going to read to you what the applicant had first proposed that staff deleted. Is that helpful at all? So for me to read what you had originally
Yes.
proposed? Originally, the PUD said sanitary sewer services will be provided for lots smaller than 1/2 acre from public mains located within dedicated utility easements. Lots 1/2 acre or larger will be served from private on-site sewage treatment systems on each lot. So if that language is almost there, then, and you're going to tweak the lot size, and maybe not, instead of say, shall be, could be, then I just wanted to give you a starting point.
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't catch that we'd taken that out. We originally had it in, so that's my bad. for not
Again,
catching it.
I had a note in my previous one, and I didn't put that in there, or I didn't ask, so sorry about that too. Again, I just want to know where we are, 1 or 3/4.
1 acre for me.
And my question would be, how many of those lots?
Well, if it's 15 at, well, yeah.
It's 15.5 acres, so now we're talking 7 at an acre.
To me, it's easiest just to say any lots not served by public sewer shall be, 1 acre, or.
And not even bring
decide.
up the sewer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if we can agree on that, we can propose that if you are willing to,
I think
want someone to make a
I think that's
motion.
going to work. If you did, you just don't talk about the septic being maintained by HOA, and that's what you guys wanted. But with the acre, I think it'd probably meet what your requirements are, right?
Yep.
And I think we can agree to that.
I think the 1 acre's better than the HOA maintenance anyways. Yeah, okay.
Put a
Legal's
small list
advising
station in
against
and
the
just
HOA
bump it to the sewer
requirement.
anyways.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, we're gonna take another run at this.
Make it. I gotta go. Let's do it.
Okay. I will make the motion. Yes. Make a motion to recommend approval of PUD 2117 with TE 1 and 2 as written in the staff report, TE 3 as previously stated for the site-proof screening, and TE 4 being all lots not served by public sewer to be 1 acre minimum.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Noble, subject to the 4 technical evaluations, to recommend approval of the item of City Council. All right, we can do this. Yeah, so I'll need a verbal second. Seconded by Commissioner Powers. And then vote, Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
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 All right, votes unanimous, recommended to City Council.
Thank you for working through that.
And then we will go back to item 15.
Dean Colita, Civil and Environmental Consultants, 4700 Gaillardia Parkway, representing the applicant. Companion item to the previous PUD, the preliminary plat as we discussed, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay.
Anyone sign up to speak? Well,
We had
I guess
this-
we did.
we had it
We already
right.
heard from them.
So with the last item, do we need to address that here as well, or just, is it implicit that the plat has to be revised to?
Preliminary anyway, right?
And it's already going to be revised because they're going to show their recreational space on the south, so.
Yeah.
Yes, we will submit for review for the city on that.
Sarah, you good? Yep. Ready for a motion? I'll make a motion to approve C7771 with the 6 TEs.
A motion to approve the preliminary plat C7771, subject to the technical evaluations. And we'll need a second verbally. All right, and then verbal voice vote.
Aye.
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 Let the record reflect that Commissioner Privet is absent for the remainder of the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Item 16.
This is case PUD 2118, application to rezone 7300 South Sunny Lane Road from I-2.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Dick Tannenbaum, who is here with us today. This is an application that would allow both commercial development at the hard corner and then a multifamily development east of that. This would be, I believe, at least the 3rd project that Mr. Tannenbaum has done in this area. The most, I guess, the closest to this site is directly north and east. You may recall that. Some of you were on the commission at that time. This is an area of the city that's obviously fueled by significant aerospace and Tinker folks that live in these. So this is the latest example of wonderful development that Mr. Tannenbaum has brought before you. It is recommended for approval with no TEs. Happy to answer any questions.
This is Ward 4, so Commissioner Privet has had to leave. Anyone like to lead our discussion on this item? I don't have anyone signed up to speak.
Just a question, David, what's the screening on this?
What you'll see along the frontage of, I guess what would be the east-west street would be decorative iron and masonry as well as landscaping.
all the way around it, and then the commercial property,
I'm sorry?
all the way around the R4,
Yes, sir.
keeping that intact, and then probably the hard corner probably doesn't have anything.
Yeah, you wouldn't screen the commercial corner, of course, but the multifamily, yes.
Anything else from anyone?
I don't have any questions.
I think it's a great spot for multifamily.
Yeah. I was curious about the grand lawn, but not as a concern. I just think it's an interesting concept for a project like this.
Yeah, so these are I guess they would be different types of tenants, right? These are folks that oftentimes are here for, contract periods of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like that. So these are not like perhaps traditional multifamily tenants. These are people that are in Oklahoma City for a short period of time, oftentimes directly related to either Tinker or some of the aerospace stuff going on. So if you go back to the aerial, Jared, if you
I was
look.
going to say, this is close to that same concept that he did to the north, right?
Yeah, so if you look to the north, it's a concept that's kind of different from a traditional multifamily, but it's been very successful and drawn a lot of interest.
Yeah, no, I'm good with it.
I'm not trying to be the bad guy, but on previous applications like this, with multifamily especially, that abutted the railroad tracks, we did upgrade that screening to be a masonry or CMU wall on a continuous poured footing for security purposes also.
So I don't believe that was required northeast, which again was the same developer, which actually abuts the railway on perhaps at least 2, if not 3 sides. If you're familiar with the products that he has developed out there, both this, Liberty Point to the east, they're all very well done. The fencing, the landscaping, all of which is immaculate. So we're not concerned. It will be fenced, just in a manner that we believe to be consistent with the product.
Kind of okay with it.
Yeah, and I would assume if there was a problem with those railroads and the noise or anything else, then they would probably pick that up here.
They wouldn't be full, and he wouldn't be building another
set.
All right, ready for a motion?
Good. I will make a motion to recommend approval of PUD 2118.
We have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend the item to City Council. I'll need a verbal second. Second by Commissioner Harrison, and then we'll voice vote. Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Unanimously recommended for approval. Item 17.
Item 17 is case SP 603, application for a special permit to operate use unit 8300.33 drinking establishments. And this is located at 2120 Northwest 23rd Street.
How y'all doing today?
Hi,
Hi.
doing well.
Good.
Welcome. What can you tell us about your project?
What we want to do is make it like a pre-game kind of a bar with all the restaurants around, so you can come in and watch the games and things like that.
Okay. Commissioner Govine, this is Ward 6. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Okay. Are you Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, you state your name and address at the podium, just for the record.
Okay. My name is Ricky Shaw. The address is 2120 Northwest 23rd, Oklahoma City 73107.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's a special permit for to serve alcohol, drinking established, sit-down, alcohol permitted. C4 commercial districts right at Classen and, Penn and 23rd. Look, I'm in support. I'm glad you're going to take that building on and operate a business there, because it's been sitting empty, attracting vagrants and unsocials for a while. So I wish you luck in your business plan, and I look forward to seeing you get open. That's my support, but is there any other questions from others? Okay. Well, I do have one question for you, though, out of curiosity. It looks like your site, the site in the plan, has got the little box that used to be the donation center. There's like a Salvation Army donation kind of. It's not anything now. It's just empty.
Right.
in the middle of that parking lot. Are you doing anything with that, or is that just going to stay empty?
No, they're just
now?
going to stay right there. But I know the guy that owns it, so I told him I'll make sure that everything is okay around the building.
Okay,
So, we gotta
so
do it.
you don't own that land? Is that a separate lot, or
Yeah,
is
it's
that
a separate
part of?
lot.
It
Yes.
is, okay. It's shown on the site plan, so I was like, I guess you're sharing the parking.
Right, shared parking,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
He's operating the business, not owning the building.
Yeah, okay, you're the operator. Well, thank you anyways, I appreciate the answers
Okay.
to questions. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to move to recommend approval of item number 17, what's the case? SP 603.
I'll second.
We have a motion to recommend the item for approval of City Council. It's been seconded from Commissioner Harrison. We'll voice vote. Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
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 Unanimously recommended for approval. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Item 18.
Item 18 is case SP 604, application for a special permit to operate use unit 8300.18 automotive and equipment, auto dealerships and malls. This is located at 908 Southeast 44th Street.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Radisich, 5717 Northwest 132nd Street. I know this is Ward 4 and Commissioner Privet, so I'll be a little bit more descriptive than usual. Essentially, I'm here on behalf of Chinchilla Properties, and they're seeking to put back in an automotive dealership that was formerly there back in the 1990s, formerly Rubicon Auto Sales. It's our understanding that property's been empty for quite some time now, and the Chinchilla family is going to open a 15 to 20 car lot there. It sits directly next to Boat City, as well as additional automotive repair shops directly across, with Dollar General sitting on the street on the corner of High Avenue and Southeast 44th, less than about a half mile from the off-ramp from I-35. With that, I'd open it up to any questions.
All right. Any comments, questions from commissioners? Do we know exactly how many display spaces that you're going to have?
We have, right now, we can have up to 2. It looks like we have room in the front of the property as well. We have a large sign sitting on the building that currently sits on the property as well.
Well, and when I say display, I'm talking about like basically parking spaces for the vehicles that you'll be selling?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. I think just when we've considered these in the past, I think we looked at, make sure that there was appropriate number of customer parking spaces versus, display spaces. So I want to make sure that we address anything there that we may need to.
Because I'm seeing 15 plus 4 plus 3 actually shown on the site plan.
And then if you look to
striped spaces.
Correct. And then there's room for, I've been told, a room for an additional 20 spaces if you look to the southwest portion of the property.
So is that, I mean, are you suggesting, are you suggesting that the spaces that are striped are required parking spaces that you're going to have to show that you have for customers to get a building permit? Or are these, that's how many cars I'm going to put on the site?
I believe the latter, sir.
Jared, do you have the site plan?
So are you saying
That
from
might help
the,
you.
are you saying from the storage container down from there south, that is your outside boundary of your property, you could stripe and have parking all along that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I believe, is the last business that was there, was it a car dealership, or is this going to be a change of use permit? Do you know?
No, the last business was a car dealership there, correct.
Okay, so he wouldn't have to have a change of use.
He may not need a permit.
So, yes, so the only thing that can be put on today is what we do, because he could just open.
I don't have a specific concern other than we just want to know that there's enough space so that customers' cars can navigate safely onto the lot, have a place to park, that the cars on the lot are, orderly, organized, and don't look unattractive to the surrounding neighbors. We get a lot of protests on some of these small dealerships of neighboring businesses that they just don't want to see cars just stacked every inch of the lot and nowhere for customers to get in and out.
And it's not our intention to go bumper to bumper.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what we're discussing here is just, do we need to put a limit on that, or are we, because I think 22 spaces striped, you got a lot more concrete and paving on this lot where you would potentially have cars for sale.
Yeah, I mean, you could get like 30 just catching them out easy.
Yeah, so, and I don't have a problem with that. We just kind of like the clarity.
I'd like to put a number.
I heard it, you mentioned a number of 20 in addition to what's striped. Did I hear that correctly, or did I?
Correct, sir. Okay,
so that would be 44. If we added up 15 plus 4 plus 3 plus 20 more, that's 44 total. Is that too many? It's hard for me to see just by scale.
Do we differentiate between customers and
I don't know.
sale? That was the question.
Yeah.
Or just number of parking spaces?
It feels like you want to really stripe the whole lot and show what you can fit, and then say there's sale parking up front and customer parking by the building.
Well, I know in the past we've asked, and they were smaller lots and tighter lots, but we've asked for more specifics on the actual plan, how it was going to be laid out. I mean, this is basically a survey of what's existing, not necessarily a site plan of what can be done with it.
That's a good point. And also, I don't know that we have the information on what is the required parking count for this square footage of building and use.
Right, and it would be.
It's probably low.
Well, it'd be 200, one per 200 for office and one per 1,000 for, if it has overhead doors and warehouse. So I believe a little bit better of a site plan would help a lot.
Do we want?
Would you be willing to come back, take a deferral and come back December 11th?
Absolutely.
So really all we're looking for is a better striped plan.
And some indication of where landscaping will go and, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, if we have landscaping requirements for city points, that's indicated, and then just you're indicating your required customer parking based on your building square footage, and then everything else can be for sale cars,
Okay, so we'll just need a motion to defer this to the December 11th meeting.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meek. Voice vote.
Hey,
back.
Oh. Did Paula fix this?
It's magic.
All right. And that item is deferred. Thank you. We'll see you again next month.
See you next month.
Item 19.
This is SPUD 1760, application to rezone 4904 Southeast 104th Street from AA.
Hi, my name is Aaron Hale. I'm with a civil engineer with Engineer by Design. Address is 10700 Myers Lane, Choctaw, Oklahoma. I'm representing my client here who is desiring to do something with this piece of property that he purchased in 2019. It is a 1.2 acre piece of property. The tract directly to the east of him is 2.7 acres. When he bought the property in 2019, there was no other residence on the tract to the east, but that tract has now been built with a residential home, and it is zoned AA. He is desiring to put basically a building on this property for his personal storage, not a storage unit, just his personal storage, not to be rented out. He does have a 66-foot easement on the property going diagonally across the property for an easement for petroleum use. He's basically trying to get the best use out of his property. This will not be a grow facility. This is just for personal storage. Accessing the property probably once or twice in a 2-week or a month period, depending on the usage of it. So pretty varied visitation to the property. Are there any questions?
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? This is Ward 4, Commissioner Privet.
I do have a question for you. How do you see what you're doing to be in compliance with the existing CCNRs?
Well, the existing CCNRs, if I'm not mistaken, have expired, if I do believe so. I think they had a 20-year period, and I think they've expired 10 or 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we can't even consider that. So, I do have several folks signed up to speak if we're ready to hear from them. Okay. Anita Stroop. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. My name's Anita Strapp. We reside directly west of the property they're talking about. My concerns are of them putting commercial equipment in there, and then does that make it residential if you put commercial equipment? Then the hours of coming and going. And then we worry about if it's zoned residential, are they going to want to use pesticides? Because we have bees within half mile of the area. And that's our concerns with a lot of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Dewberry.
How are you? My name is Brian Dewberry, and I got several things that I want to bring up, and I live slightly south of Anita Stroop. The first one is, what's going to be stored there? Are they going to store hazmat? Are they going to store flammable materials right next door? You know, what kind of potential is there to contaminate our drinking water? Because we live on, our residents are all well water. So what are these people going to be storing? The next one is, my major concern with this is it going to be a building on a vacant lot with no residents on it? So what happens when these people shut it down, they close it, ends up being this empty building in a rural area on an empty lot, and it's going to end up being a weed grow. And then we're going to have a weed grow right next door to where we live at. And that's going to invite in a criminal element into our neighborhood, into our community. You know, imagine, if you will, you live in a neighborhood, say you live in Crown Heights or Jefferson Heights, and there's a vacant lot next door to your house, and somebody is here trying to put a storage building next door to your house. We all live on 5-acre lots out there. You're required to have a 5-acre lot. You're required to have a residence. We all abide by that. How are these people above that? And they're able to come into our neighborhood, into our community, and put a storage building on a 1-acre lot, which is going to inevitable, it's going to end up being a weed grow. And it's going to be right next to where we live at. And that's the things that I wanted to protest about, that I don't want that building there because it's required to be a 5-acre lot and you're required to have a residence. And that's all I got. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dewberry. Ronald Whitefield.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
I'm at 4101 Southeast 104th, and my concern is, you know, I've long been out there for 50-something years, and I've tried to get permits for put a building on 5 acres, and I've denied. And the rule's always been that you had to have 5 acres to build on, and you had to have a residence before you put a barn on. And that's my concern right now, is if you're going to make it where he can, can we do the same thing?
Sure.
Because I have other property up there with its acres, and that's quarter section north too. So,
Okay, is that everything?
thank you.
All right, thank you. And James Stroop. Hello.
I don't hear, so this may get real tough. I just want to live out there. They said it was 5 acres when we moved out there, and that's the way I would like it to stay. I don't know whether what else to say in my defense, but that's it.
Okay. Can I have your name and address for the record, please? Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I can get somebody up here to, but somebody's got to be right here to.
James, he wants to know your name.
Oh,
where your
James.
address.
James Strap, S-T-R-O-U-P, 4900 Southeast 104th Street.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, that's everyone I had signed up to speak. So maybe if we could get the applicant to come back up and address anything that we heard from the neighbors. I heard, nature of the materials being stored and just other activities on site. If you could elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. I might have the applicant come up and speak more to what's going to be stored there as far as the materials are concerned. As far as becoming a weed grow, I believe we wrote into the SPUD that this would not be a weed, it wouldn't be allowed, period, whoever owned this parcel. But that is the intent. We specifically stated that, no weed grow allowed. So, as far as the 5 acres, again, he owns this 1.23 acre parcel. He's just trying to figure out what to use with this parcel. Again, the parcel to the east is under 5 acres as well, but yet has a residence on it. So we're trying to figure out what we can use for that property. Do you want to address what you want to store? I believe it's office storage type stuff, but.
How are you? Seth
Hi.
Koenig, Country Lane Investments. I own the property that's subject property. Yes, when I purchased the property, sorry, I didn't give my address.
Yeah.
15712 Southeast 119th Street, New Wallow, Oklahoma.
Thank you.
When I purchased the property in 2019, the subject property and the property to the east was vacant lot. The property to the east was 2.74 acres. That lot was currently vacant as well, along with mine at the auction. Since then, the property next door had a permit, was approved to build a house, and there's currently a house located on that property to the east. As far as storage in the building, I have a tractor, a couple cars, whatever we need to do to the amendment, I believe it's on there. We don't plan to put a grow there, nor would I allow it. So whatever documentation we need to sign to not allow grows there, that's fine by me.
Okay. Any questions for the owner?
If this, I'm hearing a lot of storage, is the reason, but the TE number 1 says modify the master design statement to allow one dwelling inside / integral to an allowed storage building. So is this a storage plus a dwelling unit is the real question, I think, because that's a kind of a different. Yeah, that's a different thing.
Recommended by staff to
Staff put that in. That's what I'm saying is I'm trying to now reverse back to is that what you guys are intending? And is that why they put that there?
It is an option, yes. It would be the living quarters would be an option, but the initial is the storage to begin with. But yes, if we have the option to put a barndominium type situation, that would be ideal.
Have you read, and you've read through the architecture facade regulations, presumably the applicant, like you can't put a metal building up on this based on that architecture interpretation in section 2?
Yes, we're aware of it.
Well, I mean, and what I'm curious about is just what current zoning, you know, I heard one of the neighbors say that you can't build an outbuilding without a primary residence. So I wanted, can zoning or staff comment on that?
Sure, I can. Sarah Welch, Planning Department. So that is true. You cannot have an accessory building unless you have a primary structure. The only exemption, or the only exemption to that would be if you have an AA zone property, which would then be 5 acres. You can have a barn for agricultural purposes, but otherwise you can't get a permit to build a accessory structure without the home.
Unless you approve it by a SPUD?
Unless it's approved at the Board of Adjustment with a variance.
With a variance.
Or if it's put into a SPUD.
Or the zoning could do that. Our understanding while trying to talk through the vision for this site and try to help the applicant lead through something that clearly the lot size doesn't conform to the comprehensive plan, but we're trying to get the SPUD to a place that they could do, I guess, something with the land, was that not to leave out the opportunity for, if you're going to store like your own vehicles, like your cars and stuff, if you want to come have like a little place to sleep or whatever, that's what that was intended to do.
Sarah, I have a, I guess, somewhat related question. It looks like the lot to the east was at one point in time maybe part of this lot. The lot to the east, it looks like it may have been part of this lot at one point in time. It looks like it's less than 5 acres. Was that zoned AA, and how did they permit that?
Right, because it says we have AA all the way around, but this lot has been split.
Well, I can check that. The legal description for this lot is a portion of a platted lot. So I can check the east lot if that's what you're interested in.
Well, I'm just curious because that kind of created this whole situation with a 5 acre and the lot split. And, you know, I'm just curious how that happened.
And then I believe that property probably came and got an SPUD to put a house on it.
But it's AA right now.
Well, on Google Maps here, it says Cornerstone Veterinary Hospital is what that building is. Am I seeing the right? Hold on, maybe I got that wrong. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Never mind.
I'm gonna jump in here. I guess our commissioner from this ward didn't hear, so we're all just kind of chatting. I think we're all trying to find a way you can do something with this property. We try, but sometimes you can't. I understand you bought it at a tax resale, and I've been to those too, and sometimes you can't build on a piece of property, and you got to find some other creative thing to do with it. Not sure what you're going to do with it, but so far what you're proposing here, in my opinion, is not something we should permit, and I don't know how much more time we're going to spend trying to find something for you to do with it, but I'm against what you're applying to do with it, and I'm sorry if you can't figure out anything else to do with it.
Okay.
So would a residential period option be something to consider, even though it's in Zone AA?
That's outside our purview whether or not covenants allow it. If you think it's allowed, then knock yourself out. If it's not, then it's not.
Okay, are we ready for a motion?
Yeah, unless, go.
No, I mean, I do think residential would be appropriate there, though, if that were allowed and able to be done. I mean, that's what's on this street and both sides, and having the unsupervised storage building doesn't seem right. I agree with the protests of people that is a concern.
I'm trying to understand this period. We have a 1.29 acre lot as it sets right now that's zoned AA, so they could build a house.
No.
Because why?
AA is minimum 5 acres.
Oh, okay.
They'd just be back here with the
SPUD, correct. Yeah, so we could look at it a zoning change for that, but just this application, I agree with.
At that point, the reason I'm not necessarily favorable, let's say it was, what's too small? 5 acres is 5 acres. So what if it was 0.6 acres or it was 0.3? Some different pieces of property get sold at these tax resales, and that doesn't mean now we have to force a zoning on it to make it work for them. So to me, it's too small. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pause it in case anybody, other commissioners, I want to pause for a second. Anybody else? No, okay. Fred, I'll make a motion to deny the application then.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner LaForge to deny the application. Is there a second?
Second.
You've got to vote.
Sorry.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Noble. Please cast your votes. Remember that a vote yes is a vote to deny. And that item is denied, recommended for denial to City Council. So this item will still go forward to City Council in approximately 8 weeks. So item 20.
This is case SPUD 1761, application to rezone 2330 Southwest 27th Street from R1.
Matthew Kelly with Roke Engineering, 3200 Northwest 38th. We're looking to rezone this to O1 for for offices with the provision to allow vehicle and equipment storage in a back paved area, and it's going to be surrounded by a screen fence 6 to 8 foot tall.
Okay. Commissioner Govine, this is Ward 6. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
I'm just gonna level my concerns right off. I do not like encroachment of a change of use on these R1 blocks. I mean, there's a clear delineation of the Agnew industrial corridor. There's an alley easement that runs behind these, and so far all of these blocks, northward, or 28, 27, 26, they're all intact. So they haven't been chipped away at like that. And I immediately had concerns that I don't think that that's the right move here. I don't mind, like home businesses and home offices, that doesn't bother me. It's the vehicular storage, and based on, we also have some, I don't know if anyone signed up to speak, did you say?
I don't have any.
Okay. We did have some letter come in with the concern about that. Now, I understand there's been some cleanup done, and that may not be an issue anymore, but it's the vehicle storage primarily that I'm not comfortable with. I see that there's a TE1 proposed to add single-family residential. Really, I think it should just stay. It is R1, so I think, and then that's basically just saying we also want it to. We don't want to create a non-complying use. The house is used for single-family, but I think it should stay R1 zoning. Really, it just doesn't. And but I'm willing to listen if you have some further thoughts we should be considering here. I understand you run a business there now. Is that correct, or is this to potentially locate a business there?
No, they're already been running a business there. I know that even on their taxes, they've been paying commercial taxes, and so they were under the assumption that it was commercial this entire time. There was some issues they had to clean up. They were just wanting to use it for storage. For storage of vehicles and equipment, but nothing that's inoperable, not long-term, just somewhere to park it overnight, and they could take it to work the next day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly don't like if you're saying they're operable and they're in use, that's one thing. That's better, but it still I don't like the appearance of the scrapyard operation. I don't like, derelict vehicles.
Yeah, there will be no there will be no trash, there will be no scrap, there'll be none of that. It's simply just clean parking, and it's all gonna be behind a privacy fence. Nobody can see it. It's not gonna bother the neighbor. It's not gonna be making a lot of noise. It's just, at the end of the day, they park the car. The next morning when it's time to go to work, they'll take the car to work.
I mean, is this a commercial, are we talking this is a commercial vehicle with maybe a trailer and some equipment?
I mean, small, light equipment, maybe a skid steer, just normal trucks, nothing too big. Light duty trucks, light duty trailers.
It just doesn't feel like a compatible use in an intact residential block with occupied homes. I'm sorry. I mean, there are industrial zone lots and parking that can be used for that purpose, that sacrificing the residential block, and that just, I don't feel right about that. That's where I am.
And I'm in agreement with that, and the protester is basically saying the same thing. They're mid-block. I drove it this morning. I'm in agreement. It's an R1 house. It's on R1 zoning. Should stay.
I agree, so that's 3.
All right.
I can make a motion. I don't think anyone's jumping to make an alternate one. I'm going to move to recommend denial of SPUD 1767.
A motion to recommend denial of the City Council of SPUD 1767 by Commissioner Govine. It's been seconded by Commissioner Powers. Please cast your vote. A vote yes is a vote to deny. All right, that item is recommended for denial. That still goes forward to City Council. Okay, item 21. I think Commissioner Powers, are you recusing for this item?
Good afternoon. Braden Schaefer with Craft and Toll and Associates, 300 Point Parkway Boulevard. What we're attempting to do here is take existing O2 and rezone it to multifamily development. As we think this is pretty good fitting infill residential. We worked with staff to get the building layout such that the frontage along Portland is very much kind of a front of house feel, with all the parking kind of situated either behind the buildings or off of Northwest 27th Street. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. All right, this is Ward 2, so Commissioner Powers.
I don't have a lot of questions about this. There's some issue for me with respect to the location of the dumpsters, which the staff report tells me will be no closer than 10 feet from all property lines. Since you're actually, backing up to single-family residential here, I think you're going to need to find a place that's a little further away than 10 feet.
Yeah, so the challenge that we ran into with the dumpster enclosure is, so we reached out, we attempted to service this with polycarts. We were told that that would not be an option. So we have to have a dumpster. And then the other issue is just where we can fit that without blocking parking. Obviously, if we move it further away from the residential property lines, we're going to eat into parking.
Yeah,
Which we could look at doing, but I don't know if we want to sacrifice parking for the dumpster.
This is one of the issues that we have with respect to trying to bring buildings forward to the street and putting parking behind. That then not only are the existing single-family residences there dealing with a parking lot next door, but also because you have to put a dumpster somewhere, it ends up closer to them, and that's really problematic for me.
Okay.
I can't redesign this space for you from the Horseshoe. I just can't do that. I don't have the expertise, but Sarah, you want to help me? Is there something that we can do here that makes sense? I noticed that the setbacks off of, first of all the access is being taken off of the north and south streets. There's no access from the site onto Portland.
Correct. And when this was first proposed, the site plan that came in had the dumpster pulling in and off of 26th Street. So we didn't like that, correct, as an option. So they've reworked it to kind of meet some of our suggestions, which would be homes facing Portland. They have the issue with the narrowness, I think, which requires them to get access from the two streets for the two different kind of parcels or portions. The dumpster setback, while That's right. That lot is actually not zoned residential. I realize it is a home, but it's zoned O2 if I remember correctly.
That is correct. Both of the properties, I believe, adjacent are actually in O2.
But they are single-family houses.
Yeah, I believe so.
I need a setback of a minimum, 25.
A minimum 25. I'm happy for some help from my architectural planning commissioners here, if you can give it me some, but this is just not okay with me. It's 10 feet, it's way too close for a dumpster to be from anybody's bedroom window.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
if you, and I agree, but I mean, if you look at this, this is 50 feet from any residence, from any home structure.
Yeah, it's a property line distance, so the home's set at the traditional kind of where you would expect it on the lot. So even if those were R1 zoned properties, they have their rear yard setbacks, and then the homes are actually further away. So I agree, we got to have something finite. But in the event that, in the way I see it, though, too, if those properties were redeveloped with the more intense use that put a structure closer to the back of the property, well, then they're probably going to be doing the same type of thing. Then they know where the dumpster is, so it's not a surprise to them. Now, if it was just a regular R1 home, I'd still be concerned. 10 feet's pretty close, but I feel like 15, if it were 15 and maybe even 20, there's a possible that you could make your site plan work still. 25 starting to get tough.
Is the dumpster where the T is?
Yes, yeah, so the dumpster is located there, basically in the furthest backyard of all of the adjacent residences. So where the dumpster's sitting right now is probably the furthest away from any residence that you can make it. If we change the setback and increase it from the property line, I think we're actually going to end up shifting the dumpster closer to a house. Which, I mean, if that's what we want to do, we can try and rework that and make that happen. But I don't know if that's really achieving the end.
Because at that point, you're moving it
closer to the dwelling.
Yeah, because we're going to end up probably shifting it closer to 26, because there's no way to fit the dumpster on the north half of the property that abuts 27th.
So the width of that paving that's immediately to the right of the dumpster is 24 feet.
Yes.
So that's half of the 50 feet that we're talking about, that distance. So if you take that and you kind of extrapolate that out between the structure on the southeast, I mean, you're probably close to 70 feet from that one, and I bet you're close to 90 going over to the west of that one. So, I mean, I agree. I think where it currently is probably the maximum amount of separation that you're going to have from anything.
And I would like to add, the original use when that was an office, the building is no longer there, but I'm pretty sure that the dumpster was located in a pretty similar vicinity to where we're locating it. Yeah.
I don't think you're going to do a whole lot better than what he's done, given all the conditions you got. I mean, realistically, about the only thing you can do is move it closer to the apartment building you're building.
Or create an access off of Portland in between them.
Yeah, you're going to have to back out.
Yeah, I've actually dealt with some of this at Board of Adjustments where you're trying to find an enclosure spot on a lot that doesn't have a great spot.
Okay.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, the point's still valid, but it is kind of the least.
It is.
And it is, but redevelopment of those two lots into something else, and they put another building behind it.
I presume that you can't, like, you could shift those buildings over and put the dumpster between the two, but I don't think, I presume that radius is, you couldn't take a trash truck up and make a turn there.
Yeah, and we've also got overhead power lines there, so that would run into an issue with space and clearance if we tried to fit a building. And we really don't have much room that we can shift either of those buildings north or south. They're essentially maxed out on the building limit line that's per the plat.
It's going to impact the occupants of the building that's being built more than the neighbors.
But they pick those things up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, it's the neighbors I'm worried about. Okay, if this is really the best we can do, and that's what I'm hearing you guys say, then I'll let go of that. The only other thing that I have a question about, I guess, is why you have varied the architectural finishes from the usual 70-30 split to a 60-40. You have some kind of specific design you're looking for here, or is that just a random variation that you'd like to see?
No, that was just something that our developer had asked to put in just to allow him some flexibility, depending on what he wanted to choose for ultimate finishes. I believe the intent is mostly to use masonry and cement hardy board siding.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would definitely want to put that the dumpster be according to the site plan.
Yes, definitely that.
And it's still fully screened as usual per normal, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
Dumpster would be fully screened.
Yeah,
Well.
that's important.
Okay, so we're going to add a TE indicating that the placement of the dumpster will be in accordance with the attached site plan, and that attached site plan will be this attached site plan.
That works for us.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? Is there anybody who signed up to speak on this?
No.
We just had a discussion during our capital improvement projects study session today about improvements that are going to be made to Will Rogers Park, so do a nice job on this.
Okay.
And if nobody has anything else they want to say, I'll move for approval. Item number 21, SPUD 1778.
A motion from Commissioner Powers to recommend the item to City Council. It's been seconded by Commissioner Newman. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
And that was recommended for approval. All right. Item 22.
Item 22 is case SPUD 1789, application to rezone 1220 North Gardner Avenue from PUD 1131.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. This is an SPD that's a bit strange, I guess, in that what we are rezoning from is actually more dense than what we seek. Right now, you could build 2 structures that would allow 13 dwelling units. We're seeking to have 6 dwelling units. It would be 6 single-family homes, but on an individual lot. So a reduction in density by more than half, 1 TE, we agreed to it. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Meek, this is your ward. I do have 2 folks signed up to speak.
Okay, let's hear from them first, please.
Okay, all right. Ms. Teresa Lewis.
My name is Teresa Lewis. I'm located at 6700 Northwest 11th Street, which is just a block down the street from them. And I've got duplexes directly across the street from me that have been there, that the street is too thin. It's not wide enough for it. They're backing into my fence all the time, and I just see it that much more. The road is not wide enough for multifamily housing in there. It's just too small of a road. I mean, they're backing in my fence all the time, and it's just constantly. I mean, that's my biggest deal, is that they won't handle the traffic. It's got the, I mean, there are big lots out there that we wanted to keep it that way with families for the big lots and everything. It's just too much with more rental houses, no.
Okay. Do you have a question for her?
I'm just trying to understand what, in relation to this site that we're seeing on screen, where is the backing up and hitting of the fence happening?
My house is located on the corner down, right there where that cursor is. That's my house there. The houses across the street is exactly what he's proposing up there, and I have all the traffic. They're parking in my lawns and everything all the time. There's no curbing out here. It's just the streets go in there, and so you've got them with that many more streets in there, you got that many more cars going down there, and it's too much traffic. It's too much and everything.
I just want to make sure I understood where you were.
And the streets are not wide enough to have that much parking on it and everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Jan Jones.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jan Jones, and I too live on the corner of 11th and Gardner. I've lived there since 1978, and we've seen this area try to be regenerated in 2006 with similar to the same thing. As Teresa said, these streets are very narrow. They will never be 4-lane. There are no curbs. You were talking about trash. Let's talk trash. Where will the dumpsters, the trash carts be set? If there are going to be 6 units, they're not going to be duplexes? Is that true?
These will be single-family homes. So what's allowed now are 13 units and 2 multifamily buildings. This will be 6 single-family homes. We are reducing density by more than half.
Right.
So these are individual homes with driveways, with traditional single-family setbacks. They're actually, per home is about 7,500 square feet, which is bigger than an R1 residential density. So it's actually less dense than even a traditional R1 single-family zoning.
Are they going to be for sale or for rent? Are they?
Likely for rent.
Okay. Because the trash carts then will be set out on the street, again, impeding traffic. There are no curbs, so they often blow over. Trash gets scattered everywhere. Earlier, I heard the citizen talk about bar ditches. I hadn't heard that word forever. I still wake up to roosters crowing, and we hear the farm animals. We love that about our neighborhood. We all know neighbors blocks around us. The pecan trees that are in front of this lot, are they going to be taken out?
I have no idea. I mean, presumably if they can keep the trees, they will. Those are typically selling points for homes. There perhaps will have to be some trees that are removed for the construction of a single-family home, perhaps less than what would be removed if it was developed under its current zoning.
See. The bar ditch, if you will, because this is still considered agricultural, they flood all the time. If we cover this with cement, it's going to cause the flooding to be worse.
Okay, is that all that you have?
I think that's it.
Okay.
We do have signatures disputing this, but we would like for that to be considered as well.
Okay.
Someone has asked me to mention the water table, that there are several homes in this area that are still on well water. One. But that is a concern as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Box, are these going to be on city water and sewer?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I'm confirming this, but yes, these will be served by public water, public sewer.
Okay. Commissioner Meek, you want to
Yeah.
lead the discussion?
Yeah, I'll start by responding to the citizens that got up to speak. What really matters in this case is that if this goes away, that someone could come build 13 units. And now we're looking at 6. And I do agree that they will be single-family residences, and there will only be 6 of them, to where with their existing zoning entitlement right now, it'd be double that. You can't make comments from the
No,
audience. You had
since-
your time to speak.
Yeah.
So, any other commissioners have any comments regarding this? I studied the previous PUD. that this was under, looked at this case, drove the area, and have no concerns with it because it's, I believe, going to make it a better.
Right. They're down zoning it to.
Yes, they're down zoning what they have the right to do. They're taking it by more than half to a less intrusive issues for your neighborhood, I believe. So with that, I'd like to recommend approval to City Council of SPUD 1789.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Meek to recommend the item to City Council for approval.
With the 1 TE.
Subject to the technical evaluation.
Right.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Harrison. Please cast your votes.
Thank you.
That is recommended for approval. So for the neighbors, this does move forward to City Council in approximately 6 to 8 weeks, so you have another opportunity to reach out to your council person.
It does look like from the site plan that the mature pecan trees are shown to remain. There's nothing that would prevent those from staying, so hopefully that'll be the case.
Right.
Okay, item 23.
Item 23 is case SPUD 1783, application rezone 16207 North Pennsylvania Avenue from PUD 940.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Lehman. I'm with Nykerk Engineering, 306 North Market Street, Mount Carmel, Illinois. I represent the client, or the applicant, and O'Reilly's Auto Parts. We're looking to rezone the property to allow for retail auto parts store. Staff is recommending approval on this. However, they are asking that we reduce we currently are showing 2 drives off the north private access road. They're requesting that we reduce that down to 1. However, we are seeking to keep the 2 as currently shown on the site plan. O'Reilly's Auto Parts needs the 2 access drives due to ease of movement for delivery trucks and trash trucks. We align the 2 driveways with the driveways to the north. I believe the concern is the distance of our driveway from our eastmost driveway to North Pennsylvania Avenue. Currently, the ordinance states that our driveways need to be located 100 feet from intersections of local access roads and arterial streets. However, this is not a local access or a local road. This is a private access road. So we did try to keep it as far away from Pennsylvania Avenue as we could, but it's 80 feet instead of the 100 feet. And so we're just trying to keep both of them again so that there's ease of access throughout the site.
Thank you. Commissioner Noble, this is Ward 8.
Thanks. And I will say that as far as the 2 drives on that private access road, I have no problem with it. I would think that that would help for traffic and movement within the parking lot. The road's not very busy, and still 1 access onto.
Yeah, it goes back to storage units,
Yep.
and there's a car wash to the north.
Anyone sign up to speak on this?
No.
Anything from any other commissioners? I think it's a good use for this property. With that, I will make a recommendation of approval for SPUD 1783.
We're going to delete TE1.
Yep. And you're good with that, deleting TE1?
I'm sorry?
Deleting that TE1, which was the private drive?
Yeah.
Limiting it.
We would like to keep the two access roads
Yep.
off the private drive, but
And good with TE2, no access onto Penn?
yeah.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend the item to City Council, deleting TE1, keeping TE2. It's been seconded by Commissioner LaForge. Please cast your votes. That item is recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Item 24.
Item 24 is case SPUD 1784, application to rezone 1821 Northwest 122nd Street from O1.
I'm Scott Spradling. I'm with Hartzog, Conger and Kaysen, and I'm here on behalf of KB Investments, which is under contract to sell the property to my client, Lael Ventures, whose principal is Lynn Jock, who is a young entrepreneur who's relocated to Oklahoma City and conceived the idea for this project. Also with us is Braden Schaefer, who's with Crafton Toll, our engineering outfit. And there's one technical evaluation which we agree with. We anticipated this, and we will have a shared access agreement executed before or in conjunction with the acquisition of the property. So we're agreeable to that.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Harrison, this is your ward. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Okay, and commissioners, you all have any questions regarding this particular project? Okay, seeing none, I recommend approval for SPUD 1784. Yeah, he agreed with the T.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Harrison to recommend the item to City Council for approval, subject to the technical evaluation. And that's been seconded by Commissioner LaForge. Please cast your votes. And that's recommended for approval. Good luck.
Good luck.
I think I'll donate some cushions for
Item 25.
Item 25 is SPUD 1788, application to rezone 13327 North Rockwell Avenue from PUD 907.
Good afternoon, Colton Wayman with Wallace Design, representing the applicant 410 North Walnut. The existing PUD here allows for fast food, but it does not allow for the drive-through component. So we're simply just asking to rezone to SPUD just for that small portion of the PUD for that drive-through. I don't believe there's any TEs, but happy to answer any questions.
All right, Commissioner Noble, this is your ward. I do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Good. I did talk to a couple of the one written protest and another protest that came in concerning the location and talked to them about where the call box would be, and it's going to be quite a distance from their houses, and it's going to be behind that building and another building that will be built into the future. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there residential in PUD 907? Behind it?
No. There is to the south of it.
Yeah,
there's a
what's already
road
shown.
separating this lot from the next lot too. So it's going to be 100+ feet from the and behind the building by the way it's set up. Good. We can set it up.
Let's do.
The call box would have to be
North side.
on the north side of building. Just put a TE in there for that.
Okay.
Do you tie it to the side pane? But either way, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
That's what it
but
indicates.
yeah, it does kind of indicate it being in that island, but I'll put it in there. We'll add that TE, just keep the call box to be on the north side of the building.
Okay.
Anything else? No. With that, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval SPUD 1788 with the addition of the TE to call out the location of the call box to be on the north side of the building.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Noble to recommend the item to City Council for approval, subject to the technical evaluation. It's been seconded by Commissioner Govine. Please cast your votes. And that item is recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That brings us to the end of items to be individually heard.
Apologies, I've got to run. I had to be in Tulsa, so I tried to make it to the end, but I'm going to run.
Okay.
Thanks. See you.
You'll miss out on our calendar. Safe travels. So we'll move on to additional items. Planning Commission committees, anything? Planning Commission members?
You're going to be here for the December meeting, yes.
All right, nothing from Commissioner Meek, Commissioner Newman? Nope. Commissioner Govine?
Nope.
Harrison? Noble, nothing there. Nothing for myself. Planning Department?
Well, Sarah will be giving us a presentation here shortly, but other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. Municipal Counselor's Office? Any citizens to be heard? Okay. Other business. Item A, adopt the 2026 meeting calendar for the Planning Commission.
Hi, Sarah Welch, Planning Department. We don't usually do this, but I wanted to just kind of give you a short briefing about some process changes that we're proposing for the next calendar year, and it's tied to your adoption of the calendar for next year. So our process, just briefly, when someone applies for a Planning Commission case, our process, it takes the applicant about 6 weeks to get through. Generally, in week 1, we're doing all the application intake, we're checking for completeness, we're looking at legal descriptions, creating case maps. Around week 2, we start routing everything to other departments to get their feedback. By week 3, we're needing to do our public notice because we have to mail notice 3 weeks prior to this meeting. Around week 4 and 5 is when we're still sort of working with the applicant, specifically with PUDs and SPUDs, to try to negotiate. We did a lot of negotiation for today's meetings, I hope you could tell. But we're going back and forth with the applicant. And then in week 5, we are finalizing and publishing the agenda and the staff report. You're getting your packets. And then around week 6 is when we're coming to the meeting. So for staff, the internal deadline's about 36 days to get through a whole cycle for someone in a Planning Commission case. Go ahead. There are some challenges with that. Specifically, we have overlapping tasks in week 2 and 3 and 4. So while we're sending information out for comment from other departments, we're already noticing sent mailing notice to our neighbors. And one of the things that we do for our neighbors is we publish online master design statements for PUDs and SPUDs when we mail the notice. So you can see where if we're still trying to get comments from other departments and we are already telling our neighbors to go online and read what the applicant has submitted and is requesting to do while we're still negotiating with applicants, it's not quite as transparent for our neighbors because they really have to kind of wait and see what happens and what shows up on the agenda before they know what is actually being considered. So then we, of course, still do the staff report and we come to the Planning Commission meeting. And so one of the challenges is those overlapping tasks. One of the other challenges is we have those overlapping timelines. So that 6-week process is overlapping. So while we're still finishing up staff reports, we're taking in new applications. And when we're at the tail end of that round, we are then taking in new applications. And if you're Elena or Mr. Noble or a mapping specialist or our intake staff, you can just weave in the Board of Adjustment right in between there because it's the same process, just on alternating weeks. So other challenges include, of course, the potential for delayed or conflicting interdepartmental feedback. We kind of get comments from other departments kind of towards the end of the process. We might have to go back to the applicant and hopefully not surprise them, but sometimes surprise them with a TE on the staff report. We then, of course, have challenges, like I mentioned, with our neighbors not knowing exactly what is being proposed because they're seeing what the applicant submitted to us and not what has kind of been vetted a little bit, and which that can lead, of course, to continuances and TEs. So what we're proposing is more of like a step process. We're proposing that you submit your application. If you are complete, and that's just kind of like, did you provide the deed to your property? Do you have the proper letter of authorization? Does your legal description close? Then you'll proceed past that first step. What we're trying to get to, what I'm trying to get to, is that we send out applications for preliminary comments from other departments. We get those back, and we send those to the applicants. Once we get their first round of comments back, that's when they can proceed, and that's when we'll publicly notice them. And because once we do that, now we're getting kind of a more complete picture, and the neighbors are, of what's published online. Of course, we'll still go through the staff report finalization and agenda, and we'll come to this meeting. We think that that would probably, if everything goes great, then we think that'll probably extend the applicant's timeline to 56 days and internally to 50. So with those goals, I think that the goals of this process, if you agree with our calendar proposal, then we want to separate those steps out. We think it'll be clear expectations for our applicants. We think we'll get more complete applications, improve transparency for the public, enhanced interdepartmental coordination, hopefully fewer continuances and last-minute changes. I mean, we're accepting people's changes up to the Friday that your packets go out because we want you to have the most recent information when you're making your decision. So ideally, that's going to lead to fewer technical evaluations to work through at meetings, and it addresses a recommendation of, there was a consultant study that was done last year, finalized this year for our private development review and permitting process. It included multiple departments. Planning was one of them, and one of the some of the feedback we received through that process is that we're sending you incomplete information when you're making your decision. So we think that this process will hopefully address all of those concerns. So the calendar that's in your packet today, it actually removes the filing deadline from the published calendar. So before, we were given a 6-week filing deadline, and people would expect to be on the agenda, if they filed by that date. What we're going to ask for instead is to just add a disclaimer and recommend an 8-week lead time for processing and docketing of the item. And we'll provide an internal schedule for our applicants so they know kind of those milestone dates they have to hit. The calendar that's in your packet today for adoption has 2 January meetings. That's kind of confused some people. It's on the 3rd and 5th Friday or Thursday. Usually your meetings are on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of every month. We changed it in January because the first Thursday is New Year's Day, and by shifting everything down, we were able to get 2 Board of Adjustment meetings in. You're welcome, Mr. Noble. We returned to 2 meetings in June. We have previously asked you to allow us both June and July off, an extra meeting, but with this new process, we'd like to reintroduce the 2 meetings in June, only have 1 meeting in July, and then of course it's 2 meetings the rest of the year except for holidays. So I think that's it. What's in front of you is the proposed meeting calendar, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, that's the calendar we're asking for.
Sounds like it gives you all kinds of more extra time to get our packets done early.
I think that was a great presentation, Sarah. Thank you.
I like the new plan.
The one thing, as someone who I am about the backside of this, of consultants and the people that handle these cases, dealing with clients, chasing them for decisions and sign off on our stuff, it always gets right down to the wire of we have to submit today to get on the agenda for this planning commission, and it forces them to okay, we'll sign off on it. Well, oh yeah, that's good. You know what I mean? So there's the process for the applicants as well. And I think it looks clear, I'm just reading that what would be published, which says applicants should submit a complete application at least 8 weeks prior to the planning commission date. So we would interpret that as if it's on Thursday, September 10th, it's 8 Thursdays prior to that, end of business.
Yes. I think it actually could benefit, there's been some PUDs and SPUDs that you've had lately where they needed to change one thing, whoops, we forgot to put architectural metal in our SPUD, or oops, we need to just change this setback or whatever, I think there's an opportunity that this actually benefits them, because if there's not a lot of back and forth, then we'll put you on the first agenda that's possible.
And this is one of the key recommendations from that consultant study that Sarah mentioned, that the Office of Innovation is now spending a lot of time trying to implement over the next year with us and Public Works and Development Services and Utilities, everybody that touches the development review process. That's one of the key things. They were like, you guys need to make sure that you don't move forward unless the application is complete. And we just have a big problem with that. We think roughly about 20% of our cases are just actually not, we're just really nice people. And we let people, they race in at the deadline, so they're technically, okay, well, yeah, you can get on this commission meeting, but it's kind of dragging them along every step of the way, and we end up rewriting staff reports because they'll submit information late that changes things. this is going to make it more efficient and just better all around for everybody. And once they get the right information and complete application, they'll get noticed and we'll move forward. The other thing that it recommends is that we be a little more formal about pre-meetings. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of that internally with staff. That Sarah's, making sure that we're getting people together in a timely manner, staff that is, to get feedback back to the applicants. So yeah, we're excited about just trying to get things more efficient in terms of the process.
Well, I agree, and I hope that you end up with better applications. I think I've said that from up here a few different times to the applicant, that a better application, then you wouldn't have to negotiate so much right here. To Jeremy's point on when we get our packets, and the sooner is the better, and then the right information, because if I'm reading an entire case and then it comes back and it's different, it becomes kind of frustrating that I spent that much time already going through something, then it's going to change a lot. And so,
There
better
is a support
information.
club for that. Meet every other Friday morning.
I might need to join.
Well, and it's true too that I feel bad for people that come to protest a case and they've worked on their speech for the last week, and everything they're talking about's already been negotiated out, and I feel bad for them, and we have to listen to them, and it takes time. So it seems like a great plan.
I think it's going to also improve, as Sarah knows, that in my ward, I've got people bird dogging when they post the Puds and Spuds on the website, where I haven't even thought of them yet, but I'm start getting phone calls. And I think before it posts, it'll be a more complete application. So thank you.
So I'm all in favor of this. I think, it's been a while that we've been working under this system with a whole new set of staff. And, there've been a lot of squeaky wheels about this and that and what's working and what's not. I think, obviously there's been a lot of thought put into what would be better, what would work better. And I'm all in favor of giving it a try. I mean, I have no concern at all that the mom and pops who are coming here for the first time ever, and probably the last time ever, on a particular case, will not get the kind of attention that they need and deserve. I have no concern about that. With respect to the people that we see week in and week out, they just need to get on board and, quit complaining about this or that. And
they
here
have
it
the,
is,
they have
and
the
just do it better.
opportunity. If they create a good application and it's done timely, they can beat the 8 weeks.
I'm all for it, so go for it.
Thank you.
I'm not so crazy about 2 meetings in June, but I will say this about that. I think if we can be just cognizant of the fact that it is difficult for us to find people to attend 2 meetings, every month through the summer holidays as well as the winter holidays. It's just a reality, and we'll have to deal with it. I don't think those of us who show up can complain too much about those of us who don't, so.
I mean, I don't really think that there's been, I can't remember a time when we've really had,
This board is good. Board of Adjustments is a struggle.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm
I was
happy
thinking
I'm
about-
happy to amend the
and
schedule to
truly not for
remove the
me,
second
but-
June, but I think last year what happens is you pay for it anyway. You end
Yes,
up with a
that's
huge
what I
long
was gonna
agenda.
say.
Yeah, and so kind of in my mind, the trade-off of like, it might take a couple weeks longer to get your application through. One of the trade-offs is we have that extra meeting in June,
And we don't have 35 items.
About 5 people will show up.
Assuming that's not even more difficult for staff than it is for us, but, I'm okay.
Well, I bet you didn't want to put that extra meeting in June. I said you probably didn't want to put the extra meeting in June, but
It was just fair.
I mean, I see it every week. They're so overworked, it's amazing what they get done. And I mean, they're producing these telephone books every week, and it is, commend you for everything you do.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great job.
We need to adopt it.
We need to
I'll
have a
move
motion to adopt it.
adoption of the proposed 2026 meeting calendar.
All right, we have a motion to adopt the calendar.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meek. Please cast your votes.
What did that do? Okay, there we go.
And it is adopted. Thank you all. We are adjourned.